Gossiping.
What's funny is no matter what gets said, us Glovers are still correct. At the end of the day, always, every day.
Always, we're always correct about the shape of the Earth. Yeah, for sure. Don't get too big for your britches there. You're not always correct.
No, I don't mean about everything.
No,
I mean
I'm
about
just
topics
playing.
like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, damn it.
Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg.
Everyone in this room has to lay their head down tonight on a globe.
You got like a globe under your pillow or something? I'm a hardcore fan.
Actually, yes, I do, and you do too. It's under your house.
Nah, mine's just a bed, a normal bed and pillow. No globe on my pillow.
Like I said, just because you don't believe it, it don't matter. You still have to go to bed on a globe every night.
Sounds like Santa Claus on Christmas. Sounds like the Tooth Fairy, actually, more so, considering the pillow, under the pillow aspect.
Oh, it's called the globe fairy. Sorry. And every time you leave a globe under your pillow, the sun rises tomorrow.
Well, I checked, and my pillow has no globe underneath it, so the sun's still raised.
It's under your house.
Yeah, so is the Tooth Fairy, right? Just hiding under my
No,
house
Tooth
somewhere.
Fairy
No.
doesn't exist.
These guys got me
just the
kind of
globe.
interested. What's this globe made of? Like, what is it? What's it made out of?
Earth.
What do you mean?
Reality.
It's made of
That
Earth.
makes sense.
Is it? It's so it's made of what? Reality or Earth? Which one is it?
It's Earth.
All right, like dirt.
Yeah, there's other stuff that's in Earth though, other than just dirt.
Okay, so what is
Rocks
it made
and
out
shit.
of? The
There's
thing.
rocks.
All right, rocks. It's made out of rocks.
There's sedimentary material.
All right, so you're back to dirt. So the thing I lay my head on is made of dirt. I don't lay my head on dirt. So I don't lay my head on a globe. What are we doing?
No,
I said it's under your house.
Yeah, it's under your pillow.
Oh, okay. So it's
is under your house.
Yeah, but also is the Tooth Fairy. But you say the Tooth Fairy is real. But you say
No,
this
the
thing
Tooth
is
Fairy.
not
We
real.
didn't say the Tooth Fairy.
It just seems kind of hypocritical. A little bit, like
We
they
didn't
both
say
have
the
the
Tooth Fairy
same.
was real.
Yeah, I know it's hypocritical. They both seem to have the same attributes described by you, but one's real and one's not. Like, what's the reason differentiation?
Whoever said the Tooth Fairy is what your house is on? That's weird.
You've never actually discovered. No, she's under your pillow. She's under your pillow. They started the conversation by saying there's a globe under your pillow. Then I said, "Oh yeah, and there's a Tooth Fairy under mine," or something like that. That's
You're right. You know that the Tooth Fairy
started.
doesn't live under your pillow, right? She doesn't stay there. She just comes in and magically takes the tooth from under your pillow and leaves you $1.
For you, bro.
All right.
Tooth Fairy lives here.
So it's under my house, right? So like when they built the house, right? And I saw the foundation for the house. Was it under that, or that was it?
It's sitting on it. I mean, you can try to make these pointless arguments.
I'm just asking, where is it? You're saying it's not. Listen, it's not. You're not identifying the thing that you're claiming. So before the house is there, that's it. That's the globe.
Yeah,
your word games
that's
aren't
the Earth
working.
that makes up the globe.
I'll just go right next to the house. That's the globe, like right next to it.
Yeah,
okay.
if it's on Earth or on water that's on Earth, that's the globe.
All right. So the mountain is a globe, like the valley is a globe.
Part of the globe.
Tree is a globe. But which
it's all
one?
Part of the globe.
Yeah, but which one makes it a globe?
All of it.
What?
All right. So which thing did you identify to know that it's globe? Like point to it.
It's the sum of all Earth and things on Earth.
Okay, so
we are the globe.
All right. So if it's all things, right? Are you distinct from all things so that you can reference the globe? Oh, okay. So how have you made your? How do you know that you're distinct from Earth?
Yeah, so how do I know that I just said, I don't know if you heard me, but I said we are the globe, so I consider myself part of it. But
so now we're not distinct, so we can't reference.
No, I am distinct. I am a part of it.
No, if you're a part, all right. So if you're a part, so I asked you, what's the globe?
Part of a puzzle is still part of the puzzle.
Trees, water, dirt, air,
people,
clouds, yourself.
animals.
You are the globe. So you can't get out of that. It's just like that's just one dimension.
Yeah, I
am
can't get out of the globe.
Reference the globe and point to it.
Just seems like a composition fallacy. You're saying
because
I am part of it.
You're part of it. Yeah.
No, but you're saying because I'm part of it, I have to be the same as the entirety of it. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Otherwise, there'd be no distinction, right? You're saying that all these.
No, there is a distinction.
What is it?
There's a distinction that I am a unique portion of the Earth.
Okay, so then where does the globe begin and the dirt and trees begin? These things are distinct, right? You name them differently. No, they're
not. See, I said that I am part of it, so I don't see what the issue is.
Well,
like so the
trees and the dirt.
So how did you come to this?
Is that I, as an individual organism, and different than the Earth, but we all came from the Earth.
Yeah, the globe part. You said where I rest my head on. It's made of dirt and trees and grass and water. So where are you able to distinguish one thing from another thing? Say this part is globe.
You're distinguishing things on a globe and then asking you how do you distinguish them?
Well, you're begging how the question. It's on a globe. How do you know it's a globe? If all things are one, it's just super simple. You did it yourself. You said all things are.
This is like saying you can't have a universe because all things make up the universe.
He won't stop. He won't stop interrupting me. So you did it to yourself, man. You said all things, right, are the globe. So there's no distinction. All things are globe. So there's no distinction.
All things on the Earth.
Oh, you don't want me to finish it. That's fine.
All things that are on the Earth. These are the water the Earth that is the Earth, and the water that's on the Earth, right? So we have all these natural substances in. Okay, do you want a more succinct answer to what's a globe? So. Everything beneath the Kármán line by 100 kilometers.
Yeah. How do you know where that is? Yeah.
It's 100 kilometers above Earth.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you measure that?
With an altimeter.
Okay. So I mean, with an altimeter, and you're gonna go to say it's 100 kilometers up in reference to what?
The ground.
Okay, so that's just vertical.
Yes, up is vertical. No thanks.
Okay, and the ground is what?
Where we all go.
Dirt. Yeah, dirt and trees and valleys and hills.
And me, in X number of years.
Yeah, I don't think you know. I don't think you know where the globe starts and the Earth starts and the tree is and where you are and where the Kármán line is and how to even reference these things.
I think you think you're being intelligent right now.
I don't think he is. I think he knows how insane what he's saying is, and he's saying it to try and be funny, but it's not really working.
I'm not making an argument for the flat Earth. I'm making an argument that this guy and you guys apparently don't know how to measure a globe. Okay. You don't know where to begin. You're beginning at the bed, and then you went from the bed to the tree, and then to the minerals and the salt, and then you're like, well, maybe it's a Kármán line, and it's up and it's vertical from my position. You don't know how to measure your globe. That's all. It has nothing to do with flat Earth.
That's just not well defined.
That is an interesting argument. It's kind
the globe is like a model,
if you feel like going with it, sir.
The globe is like a model of what they believe the Earth to be, right? So like the globe isn't really even a thing. It's like an idea.
No, it's the thing you're on. We've been saying it's the thing you're on the entire time.
An enormous giant rock.
All we've been saying.
You're on the Earth, bro.
Okay, we agree on something.
Right? We're all on the Earth. Unless you're on a boat, then you're on the seas. And the globe is a model, right? The globe is a cosmological model of the Earth.
Is Earth a planet?
In the globe model, it is.
And you think it's not a planet?
So no. I could make a model of my car out there. That doesn't make my car not real.
Okay, that's not
I've heard
my
it a few
point.
times. Yeah.
So you didn't get my point, did you?
No, I was making a point to your point where you're acting like because it's a model, but the Earth can't be real.
Thank
That
you
it's
for
just a
agreeing.
model.
Thanks for agreeing. The globe is just a model. Thank you for the agreement.
He was literally reiterating what you were saying. It's not agreeing with you. When someone quotes you, they're not necessarily agreeing with you.
They said
he was though.
It's reality, whatever that means.
He was saying that there was one thing that was a model of another. That would be directly analogous because the globe is a model of the Earth.
No, we have a model of the globe.
According to the actual scientists.
Globe is also real.
The Earth is real. The globe is a model of the Earth. Colloquially, you use the word globe to mean Earth.
Well, if it makes you happy, I'll say the Earth if you want me to, but the Earth is real.
I'm just making a distinction.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. It's a gigantic fucking rock. So it's real. It's concrete. Your house is on it. That's why I said tonight you will go to bed on the globe, on the Earth.
We all agree that the Earth is concrete. We just disagree. We think that your model of the Earth is fake. That it's not a sphere in a vacuum going around the sun.
I've been around this shit since the beginning. I know.
Well, on a different note, above your pillow and above you, there will be stars moving in such a way that is the only viable explanation for their movements aligned with the movements of the stars on other parts of the Earth is a globe. So there's globe evidence beneath you, and there's globe evidence above you.
What do you base the statement "only viable explanation" on?
The only viable explanation I have ever received for the movement of stars as they do is a globe Earth.
Isn't that an appeal to incredulity?
No, if I said that it's necessarily the case that Earth is a globe because I've only been presented a model, then that's an issue. But I'm saying the only model of the stars to explain what we see that's been presented is the globe. That's I'm just going for that premise. It doesn't necessarily mean 100% necessarily it is a globe. It could be a way for it to be mapped out that makes sense. It's yet to happen.
So what is that viability based upon?
Consistency.
And so what is the specifics of that consistency? That is
to match the consistency that we see stars. The way we're able to track what star will be seen from where.
That's only viable on a globe model.
So you're trying to shoehorn me into the you're trying to make it the fallacy when I'm saying I have only been presented with
trying to make
a model.
Your claim.
Yeah, but my claim is that the only viable model ever presented has been the globe. In order to
so what is that viability?
What star, the ability to predict the location of stars.
So
reliably.
if people were able to predict the location of stars independent of the globe model, then that wouldn't be a mutually exclusive evidence of the globe, therefore not evidence towards your argument, right?
That's correct. If someone were to produce it,
okay,
not
so
make
people
it so
did
that the globe is the only purported model that is consistent.
So people did that. They predicted the stars before the globe model existed, i.e., your standard has been met. Now you have to change your idea.
What's the evidence that they've been able to predict it before? We knew it was a globe.
Dude, all the ancient cultures were able to predict the stars and align their temples and shit with the stars.
What's your evidence that every ancient culture could do that?
No, that's the wrong question.
I didn't say every. But there's
the
many.
model.
Okay, so which ones were able to predict the stars reliably?
The Persians, the Persians, the Babylonians.
Okay, can you show me how you know that they could predict the stars?
They aligned up all of their things with the stars. They had whole temples to the stars in Babylon where they lined things up specifically with the stars. They listed down stars in their cuneiform, and
seeing
they predicted when events would happen. They predicted when events would happen. Okay.
When
clearly,
events
you don't
would happen?
want the truth. Clearly, the standard of your evidence you're asking for is being met, and you don't want to hear it.
Well, no, because the things you're saying aren't making any sense. The stars correlating,
they're very clear,
correlating with a particular event has nothing to do with them predicting the movement of stars. When they look out and see particular stars at certain times of the year, they can definitely recognize that pattern. But the only way that the alignment of said stars and to be able to predict which you will be able to see at any particular time would include a globe. And if you have evidence of any ancient culture being able to predict the exact location of a star and which star they would see, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Rich, you're not looking at evidence.
There's a lot of evidence of this, actually. If you were to actually take that question, if you were to take that question you just asked to me and type it into ChatGPT or Google, the mainstream will actually give you thousands of examples.
Well, I don't want ChatGPT's response. I want me to do that for you. I want you to prove your point. I don't want to prove your point for you.
Well, your point was that it's mutually exclusive, that you can predict the location.
No, I was specifically saying that the only viable explanation.
You don't want to hear. Hey, Rich, you're not rational. Hold on. You don't want to have a rational discourse.
Please
you don't
want
to have a rational discourse.
Hold on.
You're lying about what I said.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? All right, Rich, yeah, Rich, you're interrupting, Rich. Every single time he speaks, you're interrupting. Could you stop doing that, please? Please stop interrupting him. Just mute your mic. Stay on mute until he's finished speaking. Because you're just bulldozing and interrupting twice in a row. Could you not do that? Because I was trying to listen to what Noah was saying, and you're just completely dominating, interrupting him. Could you please not do that? Thank you.
Thanks, Gio. Yeah, I was just saying that you're making this argument that what the globe model is legitimate and it is the truth because it can predict where the stars are going to be in the future. This claim is not mutually exclusive to the globe. Therefore, your argument falls flat on its face. It's simple as that. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure the first thing that I said was that the only way we've been able to predict the movement and location of particular stars based on where you are located is with a globe model. That is a far cry from saying it is the only explanation or is exclusive to the globe. Those are not the same thing. I'm saying that I could be persuaded that someone could present a method to reliably predict the location of stars based on where you're standing on a flat Earth, and I would accept it if it's viable.
Okay,
yet it has not occurred.
One problem you have, though, is that the Earth as a globe has not been established to be so. No human being on Earth knows the Earth is a globe. You haven't proven it to yourself.
Well, no, but that's a model.
Hang on.
Does any flat earther besides
if you can let me finish what I'm saying, because you're just Glory, you're just interrupting me.
That's not what we're talking about.
I am on point
because
thank you. I am on point because it's a fallacy that's been committed here. You haven't established the globe. The Earth is flat by default.
Yeah, I was going to also say, Jeff, if you call out a fallacy in here, you're supposed to name the fallacy and explain it.
Yeah, they're lying about the globe fallacy. Okay, there you go.
You know, Gio has only hold on. Gio has only talked about a flat Earth model that also works with the quote works with the southern stars at least 30 times this year. Too bad not a single flat earther pays attention to him or what he says or the model.
Hey, can I give you a piece of advice, bro?
I've heard Gio do that.
You're always so do that. Gabriel, you'd be much more well received if you weren't always so aggressive, bro. And you always
thanks for your advice.
You're welcome, man. And you always talk down to everyone like they're just all retarded and below you, and it just makes it very difficult.
Yeah, thanks for your advice, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. Gatebreaker directly called me out for something I did, and I went, "Well, shit." You know what? I should have done that. So I don't mind the fire.
I like Gatebreaker. Yeah, it doesn't work with me anyway because I just push him straight back in his chair. So there's no problem there. And as to Gio's model, I've heard Gio's model several times this year myself. So yeah, it's a good idea, but it's not a requirement in order to know whether or not the Earth is flat, which is what we're talking about here. Do we need a model, or can we just go out and confirm for ourselves? So we have to do. Okay. Remember, the model.
It's a bit too much 24/7.
Please let me finish what I'm saying. The model that we've been given isn't a representation of where we've lived. We've gone to try and confirm that model. It's not there. Okay? That's why you got flat earthers now. Thank you. Finished.
Yeah, Gatebreaker, can I ask you that question? Like, can you... I mean, obviously, I think I agree with you, and most people would, that having like a functional model in the sense that it's like fully functional and stuff would be cool, maybe even preferable, but don't you agree that ignoring all the evidence that falsifies the one we were told just because we don't have a full replacement yet doesn't really make sense? Like, that doesn't logically follow.
No one's saying that. What I said was the only way that we are able to predict the location of stars precisely is while utilizing a globe model. There is no way to use a flat Earth model and get an accurate prediction of exactly where what star will be.
That's a wild statement. You're making a wild statement after what the young man read to you clearly, that people were navigating this Earth flat without a globe and doing their predictions and calendars. You're ignoring
that. They marked down what stars they saw, right? They're marking down patterns of what stars they saw. But in order to explain the fact of what they saw requires a globe. And we have no explanation even today. They didn't have one, and you don't have one, that a way to predict where the stars will be based on a flat Earth. I know you. Don't worry. I never thought you had one, Jen.
Okay, we don't have a model. So whenever we actually went and looked at the stars, right, based on when they get occulted by a mountain, and we predict their location using either A, like a flat Earth geometry, or B, accounting for the curvature of the alleged globe, the flat Earth geometry accurately predicted and matched the observation of the star's location, predicting the star's location and occultation time every single time, yet the globe Earth didn't match.
No, Jesse.
Celestial Theodolites tomorrow night, right?
Jesse Path of Light went out and did observations that didn't match flat; they matched globe.
See, and then, okay,
available to come.
How convenient! The one guy who claims every single observation he ever makes just so happens to match the globe, and then claimed he went to the top of mountains and made long distance observation that matched the globe, and then I pressed him on it, and he said he did. It was just without atmospheric refraction, it matched the globe. And then once I cornered him, explaining, no, actually, that's baked in. It's claimed that it would absolutely have atmospheric refraction. He then flipped around, claiming that he did account for it. So he claimed he went out like 10 different times on these mountains, making these long distance observations of other mountain peaks, and it perfectly matched the globe. And then turns around claiming, oh, well, no, actually, it did account for, I was accounting for refraction the whole time, after previously claiming that he didn't. You don't go do observations like that and forget whether or not the math you used was accounting for refraction. So the guy has been shown to lie about going out and doing tests. So the one person that I'm not going to just slowly rely on is Jesse, the guy who we have caught blatantly lying about going and doing tests. So, so he's claiming
I've never seen anybody demonstrate Jesse lying.
It's true, but let's just leave that for what it is and just point out the fact. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. I just died.
Yeah. Okay. So cool, man. Cool. And it's like, to be honest, bro, anyone claiming that Jesse's never been caught in a lie, either A, haven't listened to all the conversations we had with him going back years, right? Or B, are just being dishonest themselves. But the point is that
I definitely have not heard every conversation that you've had with
Jesse. Always saying someone's being fucking dishonest. Isn't anyone tired of this shit?
I know.
Isn't anyone tired of it?
I am a little bit.
Hey, Witzel, why don't you show us a flat Earth model that's not the dual pole model where the southern stars work? How can two observers on opposite sides of the world simultaneously be 20 degrees off from the axis of rotation?
All right.
From the southern axis of rotation.
Gatebreaker, your mic is really loud and you're yelling. It's like clipping all of our eardrums out. Please don't do that.
You can turn individual people down.
Jesse's not here, so it's maybe not the best to talk about it, but he has been shown repeatedly to be deceptive. In fact, in recording, on live streams, in fact. He isn't here, though, so it's a little bit much, but it's been so thorough that it really is publicly known at this point.
I remember where I was going to go. Okay, Jesse's a liar or whatever. Witsit, does the prediction of the celestial theodolite, where you're talking about the obstruction of the stars based on the mountain peaks, does that require data from Stellarium in order to make its prediction?
No. So you don't get that the Stellarium is actually what's being used to stillman and then falsify the globe. The Stellarium data is literally what's being used to falsify the globe. So are you claiming that the Stellarium depiction of the globe model is wrong? No, you just didn't understand it, and you heard someone else say that like it was a gotcha, but that's incorrect. The Stellarium's not required to make any prediction. It's using basic math based on the position of the stars are known. The point is that the occultation time either matches based on the flat Earth math or the globe math. Stellarium obviously reifies the globe model.
In the air fryer for Paul.
You're hot mic, Galley.
I believe you mean yes. What's it?
Yeah, you said no. Like
you said no,
way.
then yes.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Plop.
No, I did what? I said that it doesn't require anything. The point is that the Stellarium model is what's being used.
Yeah.
For what? Used for
no,
what?
Yes.
Used for what? Being used for what?
The prediction of the globe.
Okay, so it isn't that the actual observation itself requires using Stellarium. It's that the prediction of the globe is being tested using Stellarium. That's just still manning the globe model.
It's also
wait. When Stellarium says you're gonna see this star around the top of this mountain about that time, and you see that star, right? Maybe a bit to the right, maybe a bit to the left, maybe a bit up, maybe a bit down, but you see that star in its particular position. Does that mean anything to you with it?
Maybe. No. Okay. Do you know how this all went down? Do you know how we mapped out the sky and then we created a coordinate system from the relative positions of the sky? We then created a longitude and latitude system. It was then given as a decree by the king that you can only use that coordinate system to make any maps. And at the time, that's a fact. And like laughing and brushing
I know,
it off,
it's a really removing. I'm laughing because of how far from the point you're moving.
Okay, just stay on mute when others are speaking, or you'll have to be muted. And we're not just going to be doing the mute and unmute, so you might be left on mute. So mute your mic when someone else is speaking, and then respond when they're finished, please. Thank you.
Especially if it's Witsit. We mod heavily for interrupting Witsit.
No, a mod for anybody, but Rich is chuckling and laughing. But I'll mute you for doing that. Thanks. Take care. Go ahead, Witsit.
All right. So like the point is, it's not way off the point. The point is like you like acting as though since we know where stars are, that somehow proves the globe. Just shows you don't actually know how that ever happened in the first place, like what the process of that was. So it's not off of the point at all. We have a celestial sphere. The question is, did we map out the sky because it's over a flat plane and we have curved visual space? Or did we assume that we basically see infinite perfect straight lines to stars and that the reason that there is some curvature within how we observe it is because the ground itself is curving? The observations aren't what's in question, right? It's how you properly interpret them.
So the celestial sphere that we're experiencing above a flat Earth, it appears to shift slightly over the year at a predictable rate. Is there any explanation for why the celestial sphere appears to shift over the flat Earth?
So talk about not staying on topic, but yeah, it just moves, right? So one option is the idea that it appears to move and then appears to shift, but that's actually an illusion because we are actually on a globe that's tilted, wobbling. Actually, you invoke 4 different wobbles to to explain the different precessions. So to believe in your position, we actually have to believe that we're wobbling multiple different ways at the same time. And then we're spinning, giving us a sidereal rotation. And then we're orbiting, giving us stuff like stellar aberration. We just can't detect, feel, or measure any of those things. And it's as though we were perfectly still with all actual tests. The other option is we are actually still, which is why all empirical tests show that we're still and at rest. And then the sky itself is simply moving and it has a cycle. And there's precessions within the cycle itself. So
do we have so I have 2 questions. One is, you keep saying celestial sphere. Isn't it a celestial dome?
Sure, we observe the top half of it, which would be a hemisphere.
But there's like no stars on the bottom half, right? Like the stars don't go underneath us.
I've never been underneath us. How would I know what's under there?
But so all the stars that we see are present on the top of the dome at all times, right?
On the top of the dome? Like, no, dude. What I'm saying, I'm not invoking anything to do with like
I'm just mean in the sky. I mean in the sky.
We see stars above us in the sky. When we move along the earth, the position of those stars change. Throughout the year, the position of those stars change. The claim from the globe is that the reason that those positions change is because we're physically changing our angle of orientation as we view the sky. The other option is that the way that we observe the sky actually causes them to move in a specific way. Right. And this is very simple. Like the globe, in order for the globe model to be true, we would have to see, it makes the assumption that we see perfectly in straight lines infinitely, that we just see in perfect straight lines forever. And that the only thing that causes them to change position is that we're physically tipping in angles relative to those stars based on the curvature of the ground. That's an assumption. That's a cool story. If we don't see in perfectly straight lines infinitely, then the globe model can't be true. So that's like a required axiom of the globe. Unfortunately for the globe, we tested that and found out it wasn't true, bro.
Yeah, I still want to go down that avenue, but I do have a different question, slightly different, which is
I got like 5 minutes, by the way. I'm about to watch Bryson Gray.
Okay, so when we use spherical trig to get distances on Earth, so like this is what they're doing for celestial theodolite, are those distances accurate? And are those distances, do those need to be straightened or adjusted in any way to like remove the curve?
Remove what curve?
Well, because we're using spherical trig to derive the distance. So I'm asking, number one, are those like if we do that anywhere on Earth, are we going to get an accurate distance? And number two, is whatever distance we get from that spherical trig, is that the actual correct distance on flat Earth?
And you're using spherical trig because you're assuming that the ground is a sphere. I just explained that.
I know. So the first question is, are the distances accurate?
Well, how can they be when you're affirming the consequence fallacy right there? You're assuming it's a globe.
He's assuming that if the distances are correct, that it proves that the ground is curved. So you are correct. It's exactly what he's doing, affirming the consequent. The reason that's a fallacy is it makes the assumption that's the only possible thing that could give you that consequent, that could give you that answer, or result.
I think you're making assumptions. I just asked. All I did was ask a question.
It doesn't prove, it just offers up good evidence.
And part of the reason I'm asking it is if, like, say we're going to go do the celestial theodolite in like in Australia or something, and we use the same formula for getting a distance to do the trig, is that distance going to be correct? That's the root of my question.
Okay, just to clarify, an evidence that doesn't prove anything is useless evidence.
It's just not good evidence. I'm not trying to prove
useless. Hang on, the point was made that the evidence was good. It's no good if it doesn't prove anything. It's not good evidence. Okay, thank you.
If we utilize it as though. If we utilize it as though we see in curved visual space, we basically have like a curved limit to our vision, then we can get all the perfectly accurate distances as well. You just flip it around. So in very simple terms, either ground flat, sky curved, or sky flat and straight, ground curved. I mean, that's kind of crude, right? It's not exactly correct, but it's that simple, bro. Either we see in curved visual space or we see in perfectly straight lines in planar geometry and the ground is curved. So they made the assumption that we modeled the entire globe off of the assumption that we see infinitely in perfectly straight lines. And like
I'm walking down this road with you. I'm going down this road with you, and I'm saying, so then when the globe says to calculate distances between points on the graticule that we use Haversine, are those distances correct or are they not correct?
I already said yes, they're correct.
Okay. Right.
Well, I just want to say to Witsit real quick that I don't agree with that, Witsit, that it could be either one, because if the sky was curved overhead and the stars was going around it, as we change locations on Earth, the circles would change to ovals and different things like that. They wouldn't stay perfect circles in the sky.
Well, that is making an assumption. Yes, like if they were close enough and we didn't have to account for any, like, say, effects of a medium or anything, then that would be accurate. Like that is true that like they would turn to an oval over a flat surface, but that's not accounting for anything else. Right? For example, if you had like crystalline structures that were layered, then you would have a totally different phenomenon. Like you'd have like 100 different ways that the lights could appear. So like, and this is where people like want us to then give them the replacement. And sure, it's interesting, and we could try to figure it out. But this goes back to the whole first point, because I'm about to walk in, and this is why I asked Gatebreaker, right? It does feel like he's always really aggressive. He's like screaming at us, but I was just making a point, like, don't you guys agree that even if we didn't have a replacement model that was entirely finished product, that's an independent discussion of whether or not the first model put on the table is correct. Like if we falsify the first model, that exists, or that's like established in and of itself. It's independent of any subsequent attempt to replace it.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with you.
It's fair. But what I would say is people
specific rigid nuance of the model.
What?
You don't get to throw the whole thing out in the trash and work with something that doesn't work. I'm talking about Gleason here.
Well, let me ask you this. Like, if the radius value isn't correct, do you agree the whole model's wrong? Because the whole model uses the radius value.
Do you agree? Do you understand? Are you aware of the issue with the southern stars in the Gleason model?
Of course. You didn't address what I asked you.
That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, so you did the very thing I'm pointing out, which is you're just like, okay, what about this model over here? And I think that it doesn't work. So like, okay, I agree. Dude, you're never going to find me in the like 7 years I've been online publicly discussing this, claiming a model is definitively true in any way. I haven't claimed the Gleason model. I haven't claimed an AE with a dome over that layout of continents. I haven't claimed any of those models, right? Because I already knew the problems with them. That isn't really the point. I'm trying to ask you, dude, to engage with, do you agree that if the other model's falsified, it remains falsified whether or not we replace it?
Hey,
no, I don't agree with you. And my lens of focus is not on you. It's on observations and on models. And I'm okay with you understanding the southern stars are fucked badly. Not a small nuance. It just doesn't work. It cannot work. On the Gleason.
Are you happy that your model hang on a minute, please? Sorry.
Yes.
Are you happy with your model? Sorry, go ahead. My mistake. You go first. Go on. Go ahead.
She was just telling me that Bryson Gray's about to perform. I'm walking in right now.
Yeah, Bryson's about to perform.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So basically, are you happy that your model doesn't exist? It's not a representation of where we live. So the model you have is it's just of no use. It doesn't represent the Earth. Your model currently that you're so passionately shouting about.
Glory, let me make one point, and then I'll bow out. I'll bow out after this. So to piggyback on the point about if we use Haversine with lat long and we calculate distances, like I would contend, well, we could go in the south and we could calculate east-west different distances using Haversine, and we're going to get we're going to get an exact mirror of distances to match latitude in the north. So if we go to the south, say like the 50th south, and we measure east-west distances, Haversine is going to give us the exact same result as if we went to 50th north. And by doing that, like that kind of is going to lock you into a model in which longitude lines taper at both of going north, and it tapers going south. And I don't see how you can. I don't think you can geometrically escape the implications of that.
That's why we're 24 episodes in and we haven't touched the southern hemisphere yet, but hey, it's coming soon.
What do you mean by 24 episodes? Is that like a figure of speech?
No.
Like 24 episodes of what?
The cell nav presentation, which they're doing a great job on. They're putting a lot of effort and work into it, and we've enjoyed the shows. We're 24 episodes in and we've not touched the southern hemisphere yet, which is what you just mentioned, the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, but dude, people just have different views on it. Like the AE map type of layout, some people think that the southern stars could work on that. You'll hear people talk about reflections or certain ways that could be the case. And then the problem, there's many issues with the dual pole layout. So are you surprised a bunch of people are not jumping to a dual pole? Even I'm not jumping to that. I've talked about it in terms of the stars and what's required in terms of the rotations and the GPs and so on. But people try to say it's like I'm dual pole or it's my model. It's not the case. I've never claimed like that dual pole with that layout of continents is the exact map or anything like that. I haven't mapped the entire Earth, and I think it has some very intense issues that would have to be worked out. So are you surprised that a bunch of people are not just jumping to something that has a bunch of loose ends and issues with it? Like it's not an easy thing to solve right now. Would you agree with that, Gatebreaker? It's not just some easy, the AE map has certain benefits to it, but certain issues. The dual pole has certain issues. One could argue whether the issues are more or less. The globe has a whole load of issues, many fields falsified. So can you understand the conundrum? It's not just as simple as like, just jumping to something. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an actual authentic discovery that needs to be unraveled and actually discovered to what the Earth actually is and the full layout of it and how the sky works with the ground.
What issues do the globe have?
Loads of issues, bro. That's why you're here.
No, it's not.
It is. You know it is.
No, the globe doesn't have any issues. That's why it works.
Okay, well then you're endlessly defending something that you can never get anyone to agree with you on. So whatever your psychology is, you'll have to figure that out.
I'm not trying to change the people's mind that don't believe it. I'm trying to keep other people from start believing it.
Yeah, I never heard someone say that the globe is infallible.
And I think believing is not knowing. So you really want to know it, not believe it. So once you know something, you don't end up believing anything. You learn and you know.
But there's a reason. There's a reason why the globe model works so perfect, and the flat model, no matter how hard you try, you can't make it work. There's a very good reason for that.
The globe does not work perfectly at all. It's vilely broken. It's profoundly broken. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But there's heated debates that have been going on for a very long time. If you don't agree, that's fine. If you were actually confident in the globe, I would suspect you would not actually be here trying to defend it and trying to constantly, you're saying you're trying to push people away that are on the fence. Out of the 60 or 70 that are watching on YouTube and Rumble and all that, how many of those are even on the fence? There's maybe 3. I'd imagine most of those are either globe earthers or flat earthers that have been in this for years that just prefer to watch on YouTube and Rumble. Now, I'm not saying we're not reaching new people. There may be some on the fence. I'm not saying that. But if your claim is that you're the whole reason you're here is because you're so confident in the globe and that there's just a few people, maybe a handful, that might be on the fence. If you already think that TFE was so potent and you already think the globe is so potent, why would you be spending an enormous amount of time trying to change 5 people that are maybe on the fence? That might go to what you already think is a small group of people that think the Earth is flat, and have them not go away from the mainstream model. It's just that doesn't really make sense as an actual.
I don't know, Gio. Let's add to it. Maybe I enjoy it like a lot of people do. You ever think about that?
All right, well then, okay, but you refuse to admit there's issues with the globe model, and you just want to dogmatically assert to us that it's all good and we should all.
I just asked for some. That's all I did.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfect. I think it's a mistake for Globers to say that it's perfect and has no issues. But definitely from where I sit, it works a lot better. It works a lot better.
It doesn't represent us or where we live.
Explain how an equatorial mount works on a flat Earth.
We could do that, but Cole, do you think you could give an hour presentation steel manning all of the problems with the globe? Because I know that I could give an hour presentation steel manning the problems with the AE map or a dual pole or a flat Earth, any of that. I could do that. So do you think you could give an hour presentation steel manning the problems with the globe? Because if you can't, then either you, no offense, either haven't been listening or haven't actually integrated the problems with the globe model.
No, I could give an hour presentation on why it works, though.
So you could not give an hour presentation of steel manning all of the issues with the globe model?
No, because I'm sitting here running through my head trying to figure out what issues there are with it.
So you can't. So you haven't been listening for 5 years?
Oh, I've listened.
Well, clearly not. You just demonstrated that you haven't.
No, here's the difference. No, here's the difference. What you guys claim to be problems aren't problems. So I can't give problems that aren't truly problems. You guys just have misunderstandings. I could give an hour presentation on your misunderstandings of the globe, but not an hour presentation on the problems with the globe.
You haven't been applying. You're definitely in denial here. Geo just told you how discombobulated the globe is, and you just refuse to accept that. Okay.
Does any flat earther here have a better, more accurate setup of the sky and the stars?
That's not going to prove shape of Earth, is it?
Including distances. That is better than the dual pole flat Earth model.
How many times do we have to tell you that?
No
we are
one
not
does.
The ones.
No one does, and no one will.
So I can't even answer now. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was going to say to you that no flat earther, including Wissit, only a few seconds ago, literally told you we don't have a model. We never made that claim. What do you keep asking for? It's not a requirement. It's not a requirement.
I think Shane in the last CT posted some graphics that appear to try to resolve stars. The stars rotating. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I think he's working.
That globe is fucked. It doesn't exist. Problem, no curvature. Problem, no rotation. Problem, the vacuum and the air pressure we have here, being in the space supposedly hurtling around the universe. There are numerous amounts. Seasons don't work properly.
He's making my point for me.
I'm making your point for you that your globe doesn't work.
You're naming your misunderstandings. That was my point.
They are the actual problems with the globe. Okay, they don't exist. And the thing is, if it were true, you would be drowning us with the facts. And actually,
we do, Jen. We have for 15 years.
You would be showing us your efforts in proving that the Earth is indeed a globe in the physical world. You'd be doing it. That's where it counts. Not in fucking models. Excuse me.
I could pull up several different people who's built things and tested it and done things and sent things up in the atmosphere and built different things to test the globe and test gravity. We have since I've been watching since 2016, and since I've started watching this, Globers have continuously give you all everything that we can come up with in science to prove the globe. And you know what you do with all of it, 100% across the board? You deny it and you misunderstand it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Globers have lost for 10 years straight. Loss. Because the globe hasn't been proven. And ladies and gentlemen, you're listening in the YouTube and the Rumble and the Ruskin. You yourselves are unable to prove the Earth is a globe. So listen to this one man here in the server trying to say he's done that. Get out of my hair, man. Get out. Talking nonsense.
We've spent all
Yes, we have won for 10 years.
Hold on. We've spent all day. I've been in the server all day today. I've done nothing else but sit in the server and listen to conversations. It's been globe denial and talking about the globe literally exclusively. Does anybody want to talk about some flat Earth?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot deny what doesn't exist. Now, if the globe actually existed and it's there, then I say it's not there, then I'm denying. The thing doesn't exist in the first place. So we cannot be accused of denying. We do not accept what we're being told is what it is.
That's circular logic. Circular logic.
All right. Would anyone else like to get in? It's been a little bit fast paced. Is there anyone else who's wanting to get in?
I would just like to say, I guess, the claim of flat Earth is that the globe model is an inaccurate model of the Earth. The Earth is not a sphere. That's it. That's what we have in common with each other. if you try to press and put more and more onto it, you're kind of going away from the core essence or identity of what you guys claim to be a flat earther, and you're making too much of it. Basically, I don't know. That's my 2 cent thing.
Yeah, but it not being a sphere is one factor, but then what the Earth actually is the second part. So it is one thing. You can just falsify that it's not a sphere, but people want to know what the Earth actually is. So it's kind of two parts
Right,
of
it's flat.
2 sides of the coin.
It's flat. There's no movement. There's no rotation. There's no curvature. Up is up, down is down. The stars are above us. The Earth and seas are below us. Pretty simple. I mean, it's what we directly experience, demonstrable reality.
Yeah, which in the history of humanity has actually been like 99% of all of humanity has actually had that cosmology, not the globe. The globe is very recent. Now, it depends on how long you think humanity's been on the Earth, but it's actually a very, very small little portion is this globe belief, which is modern.
So is medicine.
Well, a lot of medicine is vile poison, but that's another topic.
That's not true, though, because medicine has existed in every culture throughout all of human history.
And if you're talking about
modern medicine that we have today, where you can literally survive almost anything anymore, that modern medicine has been around for like a third the time of the globe. But yeah, I can still go to the hospital and survive. It doesn't make it unreal because it's only been around a short time.
Okay, bro. What differentiates modern medicine from all other medicine makes it so special? As per your argument,
it'll save your life.
What's a couple things that makes it so different?
The third biggest killer on Earth. Right. The third biggest killer on Earth, ladies and gentlemen, is death by medicine. The third biggest killer. Okay?
Yeah.
So
where'd you
death
dig
by
that
medicine,
up from, Jen? Because that's not true.
It's the killer at the moment. It's quackery is what modern medicine is. Quackery.
Let's see. Let me look it up so I can post it in the chat what the third biggest killer is, because it's not medicine.
Death by medicine, death by doctor. There are enough documents.
You're lying, Jen. Stop lying. You're making shit up.
I'm not lying at all.
You don't know.
So
Cole, you don't know that he's lying.
Wasn't the argument was that 99% of people believed in flat Earth, and then now only today it's like a modern idea to have a globe or whatever. This globe idea is a modern idea. Then you said, well, medicine's a modern idea. I said, no, medicine's always existed. Modern medicine is a modern idea. So now I'm asking,
I said modern
what
medicine.
is the whole? What is the whole point? No, that's not what you said originally.
That was exactly what I said.
No, that is not what you said originally. That's why I responded.
I did not say medicine did not exist. I know medicine has always existed. I said modern medicine because we never had things like MRIs. We never had things like CAT scans. We never had things like flu shots. We never had any of this stuff. I said modern medicine. Go back and listen.
Yeah, we never had flu back in the old days. Didn't need a head scan.
You ruined our quiet time, bro.
I thought someone was talking that I had like turned down or something. Just randomly got quiet.
I'll tell you what, if you wanna do good in this world, you gotta be good at the marshmallow experiment.
Like marshmallow in a keyhole?
I heard Jeremy can suck a marshmallow through a garden hose.
I heard he could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
All right, I need push-ups from both of you.
Bro, your mom can suck a booger. Your mom can suck a booger through an elephant tusk.
All right, I need push-ups.
That one's gross.
It's like a football through a straw.
Your mom can suck peanut butter. Hold on, one second. One more. Your mom can suck peanut butter. Your mom can suck peanut butter through a Capri Sun straw.
All right, so I need push-ups. It's the gay tax. So let me know when you get them done. 15 for each comment.
Did you learn anything?
I'm gonna just do 60. I'm gonna just do 60 because I got about 2 more.
What's up?
I was asking Wizard if he had any information to give us about the summit thing they had.
Yeah, it was cool, man. A lot of people covered a lot of stuff. One basically debunked evolution, showed the truth about epigenetics, irreducible complexity. Yeah, it was cool. A lot of stuff covered. Then we had Bryson Gray perform at the end. He's cool. I was just talking to him for like 30 minutes. He's cool. I'm about to go eat with everybody and drive into the restaurant.
Were there a lot of people there, or what? Yeah, what's it been like?
Decent amount of people. It wasn't like crazy big or anything, but it was cool. It was like a nice venue. It was ran well and stuff like that.
Did you tell Bryson Gray you're a rapper?
No.
You should.
No,
you should
but
do a
I was sliding him
You should
into
have
some
opened with some bars.
cosmology. Nah, dude, I want to be in contact with him.
I'll produce it. I'll make the beat.
I'll be in contact with him. I'm gonna get him to figure out the globe's a lie. Although he's not really like, it's not like he like defends the globe or anything. He says it's not a salvation issue.
Pretty based.
Yeah, he's cool though.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree. If you had to know exactly what the Earth was, then we'd all be cooked, right? So. True that, Austin.
Was Dave Weiss there?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. True that with it.
Yeah, Dave was there.
Does he like not like you or something?
No, man, me and him are cool.
Okay.
Yeah. We're homies, man. I've been to his crib a few times. We ate every meal we ate together. I just stepped away from everything for a minute. So we hadn't talked as much in the last like 8 or 9 months as normal.
Does he doesn't accept there's a 24-hour sun there still, or what do you think? He thinks they put a fake sun in the sky or something?
Yeah, I mean, he said he's open to it, but he thinks it could have been faked. Like, all right, bro.
He thinks you guys faked it, maybe, or he thinks they put a fake sun in the sky and then you guys got tricked.
Yeah, I think they tricked us.
So he's not going with like there could be one there and it still works on the AE map. Like he's not in that camp.
I don't know. Good question. I didn't really talk to him about it. Every time I come to things like this, I try and like keep to myself or duck off and like stay out of sight. So I didn't talk to him about it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, dude, for me, I think that like if you think about the idea of there being like multiple layers of even just like fluid above us, and then like seeing a light through it, like lights could do all kinds of things, bro. You know, like I don't know. I don't buy the idea that it's exact things are exactly where we see them. Like when I look at the sky, I'm like, bro, this is insane. Like we're never gonna fully understand this. I think it's pretty wild to think that we're gonna like fully understand it. I mean, I'm not saying like that's like it's like a cop out to not try to understand it at all. I'm just saying like we're not gonna fully understand it. It's just not gonna happen. So, you know, it's on the table for me.
Also, though, I've never claimed I thought the AE map was correct, because that would mean whoever like kind of cast the deception was super incompetent. They let us know like all the continents and exactly how big they are and exactly where they're laid out. Why would they do that? That doesn't even make any sense. So like I never resonated with it.
But you're saying that if they did, for the globe being a deception, you're saying the fact that the Gleasons and the AE was so readily available, I mean, that's what when I looked into flat Earth in 2004, 2005, around then, like that, there was the AE map right there. So are you kind of saying that like the idea that if that was the real map, that would have just been readily available and they would put it on like the United Nations logo and all that, you're saying is very unlikely, that they would actually give that?
Yeah. I mean, it would be incompetent. Like if the objective is to hide the true nature of Earth, why would they give us the true nature of Earth? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and use it as the logo for the United Nations of all things, and the World Health Organization.
Yeah. Like there's for sure land we don't know about. Like there, I mean, I don't. Yeah, like there has to be pretty much, in my opinion. I don't know how much. I don't know where at. I don't know how far out. I don't know anything like that. But yeah, that's why I was so confused after I came back from Antarctica, bro. I'm like, dude, what? I thought we all understood that. Like, if flat Earth for you is either I can figure out exactly what it is or it's a globe, then like you're not a flat earther. You don't know what flat Earth is. So,
have you been able to gauge? I know we've heard it in this room, but in like IRL, how many people that you talk to side with your position, or how many just think, oh, you could have been fooled?
oh, IRL, as in like people I talk to in real life.
Yeah, people you've been able to talk to, or are in your circles.
Yeah, like 95% of them agree with me that it was a real observation. And just don't know exactly how it worked. Yeah. I mean, also, like a lot of the talk that goes on the internet, like all this, like, especially all like the extreme, we were in on some live stuff. Like, I've never experienced anything like that in person. Keep the same energy in person. I've just never experienced it. So much easier to talk crazy on the internet. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was oh, go ahead. Well, I was thinking this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was just curious because it's nice that at least you can like step off, and the people you have IRL are, you get validation from somewhere.
I mean, all my homies, bro, like they had my back the whole time. They thought it was cool that I did it. They thought it was cool that we were getting on the plane to go. They thought it was cool that I was able to like jump in Discord while we were there. They thought it was like exciting and like kind of like historic that we went as flat earthers.
How many people actually think you didn't go though? Is there like 5 or 10? 20? Is there like hundreds on Facebook? Like how many people is it actually? Is there thousands of people on TikTok and Facebook that don't think you went?
I don't know about number of people. It's hard to tell because there's a lot of like quote unquote flat earthers from those platforms that really don't understand the arguments all that well. And they strawman the globe. And that's where a lot of those videos got traction, right? So I don't know. But from my experience, a pretty small percentage of people actually think it was faked, But
do you think McToon has a sock account he uses to go on the internet and tell people that you didn't go to Antarctica?
I don't know. But the people that claim that, they're like doing the work for them. That's for sure. That's exactly what they wanted. If everyone had just been cool about it, then his whole plan would have totally fallen flat. But the whole panic spiral thing was just like it confirmed so many of the narratives of flat earthers. I mean, obviously some of the narratives were accurate, right? That there are a group of people there that are just like, just gonna make up stuff without proof, just gonna throw accusations around, whatever. But it's not. Yeah, I'm about to walk in here.
Q up is MC Tune.
He's MC Tune with a voice changer.
It's a racist conspiracy.
That would be the greatest actor of all time. Better than Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, if that's the case,
that would be the greatest ever.
If that's the case, Lion's in on it because he met him.
Well, I was joking saying that, of course.
Yo, because Lion is actually Jeremy and Kosho.
Hey, I met Ron Boston too.
Oh yeah, you popped on here. On
That's
video.
That's obviously North Star.
Well, can I just say this? Like, I'm not going to make an assertion here, but it's an open question. Like, is it worth considering that the entities that are in the controlling factions of deceiving humanity about a lot of things, including the Earth, that the globe deception is like the number one thing that they would be selling to the mainstream, and that they had like a backup flat Earth deception, meaning, I'm just putting it out there as a question because I know a lot of people maybe still think the AE map is viable or think the AE map is viable. But is it possible that there is a second deception, which would be like the Gleason's map, essentially, which they do use for like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, that layout, the kind of dartboard layout, which, everyone has different viewpoints on it. I mean, it is like beautiful and elegant. There's something about it, but the question is that actually what Earth is? If it's not what Earth actually is, then is it conceivable or possible that they had like a second backup deception, essentially? Now, I know there's claims that there are like some old maps, like those maps, like the Yerba Monte map from the 1500s, and there are various maps that show that kind of layout, which I would kind of strengthen the idea that, okay, maybe that's really what Earth is, because there are these different maps and things. There's even maps from like the 1920s that like Earth is a plane and it shows that layout. So I realize that there's a fair amount, and I'm not necessarily saying that that's all planted and that's all fake deception, although I guess that's one idea. But I'm just saying, is it conceivable that layout is just false and that there's a third option as to what the Earth actually is that is actually being hidden from us? Like the actual truth is a third option, which is neither the globe or the AE. I'm just putting that forth as kind of a question. Is that conceivable that the deceivers would have put a first line of defense to the globe, a second line, the term that's kind of connected to flat Earth and flat earther and the ice wall and the no 24-hour sun and like all the things that seem to go along with that was kind of sold as like the replacement of the globe, but that the reality is that there's actually like a third thing that is the actual truth of what the Earth is? It's just kind of an open question if anyone has thoughts on it. I'm just kind of seeing what people think on that.
Yeah, it's a simulation.
Does anyone know how concave answers the 24-hour sun?
I don't know that there really. I don't think there really is a very solid concave, like either community or model. But go ahead, Essie, that I'm aware of.
I think you answered your own question. If it's not a globe and it's not an AE map, it would have to be something else.
Yeah,
there's a little concave server I found. Write the hands in there, battling them in text.
Well, if you have the inside of a ball, they would have the 24-hour sun because the sun is like in the middle of the sphere, the inside of the sphere. So I think they have like a general way that it would work, but I've just never really seen like that central space sphere thing in the middle of the ball really be how that could actually work. But that's a whole thing in and of itself. But
yeah, to think the entire universe is in the middle of it, Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like if you have like a 4,000 mile, well, if you have an 8,000 mile diameter of that whole inside of the ball, and like how big would that center sphere ball thing have to be to actually cover like the 12,000 miles that we see? Like we see 12,000 miles for generally from sunrise to sunset. Like that's 6,000 mile. I mean, that could be debated, but like within that range, which is why on the globe, they say it's half of the globe, the 24,000 circumference, and then 12 is half that, the roughly. So if you can see 12,000, then how do you have a small little ball in the middle that would only have a radius of like 2,000 miles or something? How would that little 2,000 mile ball in the center of an 8,000 mile diameter sphere, how would that account for the 12,000 miles we see? It's a big inconsistency with that model. 12 is half that. The rough center sphere ball thing have to be to actually cover like the like a 4,000 mile. Well, if you have an 8,000 mile diameter of that whole inside of the ball, general way that it would work, but I've just never really seen like that central space sphere thing in the middle of the ball really be how that could actually work. But that's a whole thing in and of itself. But
yeah, to think the entire universe is in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like if you have like a 4,000 mile, well, if you have an 8,000 mile diameter of that whole inside of the ball, and like how big would that center sphere ball thing have to be to actually cover like the 12,000 miles that we see? Like we see 12,000 miles for generally from sunrise to sunset. Like that's 6,000 mile. I mean, that could be debated, but like within that range, which is why on the globe, they say it's half of the globe, the 24,000 circumference, and then 12 is half that, the roughly. So if you can see 12,000, then how do you have a small little ball in the middle that would only have a radius of like 2,000 miles or something? How would that little 2,000 mile ball in the center of an 8,000 mile diameter sphere, how would that account for the 12,000 miles we see? It's a big inconsistency with that model. I mean, it would be pretty tricky for them to do that, like to sell the globe and then to sell like a fake flat Earth model and then link that and try to get anyone who would then deny the globe would fall in, like a lot of people would fall into some, it doesn't mean the Earth is not flat, like stationary, planar, etc., but it would just mean that they would have had a backup. That would be smart for them to do. If they've already been as evil genius enough to do the whole globe deception, in addition to everything else they're doing, it would make sense that they would have some kind of a false flat Earth model that would get everybody. Now, from the perspective that the AE map is false, and if that is the case, if that is what they did, then they did a pretty good job because they got a lot of people thinking that was it. And I mean, many of us have either considered it or some still may think it is it. But I mean, unless you've actually mapped the Earth yourself and you think about it, why would people leap to that? Like when I notice people defending the AE map, it's like, well, why are they defending that? Just because it's linked to flat Earth? Because they know it's not a globe? But like, why cling to that one? Like people cling to the globe, and then if that's false, but then why even like defend an AE map unless you've confirmed it's an AE map? Like if you've measured distances in the south, that the continents are actually spread out like that, or if you did something to confirm it, that's one thing. But if you just jumped on it like it's your next favorite baseball team, like, oh, I don't like the globe baseball team, and now I'm just on this other baseball team. And I'm sure a lot of folks have done that over the years. I mean, I think a lot of us have considered it and looked at it and all of that, and it does make certain sense, and it matches like the sun path in certain ways, like at least in the north, like the noontime, like as a sun clock and things. So it is useful. But I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. People even now trying to say like, oh, TFE is fake and there's no 24-hour sun, but it's like, what are they really defending? They're just defending another thing that was given to them that they haven't verified, the AE map, and then that's just their favorite baseball team now that they're gonna root for. But it's like, what really is holding that up? Like, why would they even hold that as something to defend?
Think about it though. Like the deception happened when the royal families went out and mapped out everything, and then gave a decree that you had to use what they brought back or you couldn't put anything out. So they're just like, we're just going to let everyone know about a certain amount of land and then we're going to hide the rest. And then the rest of it would have just been done for them, right? Bruh put the map out based on those rules. Everyone built a model around that. Everyone's just going based off the same limited land. So the deception is just like the only people that had the resources to go out and like try to map out the earth came back and said, okay, you can only use this. And that's like factually what happened. There was a decree from the king that said you can only use this. You know what I mean? Like that's all they had to do. So anything that's built upon that limitation fell for the trick.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that coordinate system, what is that coordinate system? Is that how is that linked to the AE or to the globe? Like that the limitation that they had there that was like cornered in or boxed in. Because yeah, something like that would have made it difficult for any like independent reporting of the real map. Was it just quiet or yeah? Well, if anyone wants to jump in, but yeah, because that decree is linked to the Gleasons, right? Like the Gleason was that's where that comes from to a degree. Is that was like how Gleason's map came to be? Was that decree that limited, and then he had to stick within those boundaries, and then that is the AE map. And that's kind of telling right there, what if that's like part of the history of the source of that particular map layout.
So then, what would we say they had? Like, how would they stop independent explorers from any other nation? Or are we just saying they had full control over all that?
That's a good question, but do you know like how many people have independently mapped the Earth that have come through and said, hey, I've done this independently from, the government systems and the current system we have? Like it's not like there's a bunch of them, that are all like all have their maps. I mean, there's local maps of certain regions, but other than like the globe and the Gleasons, like are there any other independent mappings?
I mean, maybe not the whole Earth, but if we're fairly confident about the continents we do know of, and anybody goes separate directions from those, surely someone would have found something that's not on the AE map.
What if the land was further south and they made you use a compass?
The only way I can conceive that is the south is going any direction outward, being the AE map we're thinking of. In which case, again, are we saying that one nation was able to control the whole perimeter?
Wouldn't you agree though that there's a lot of like missing gaps of really like where we come from and what our history is? And people talk about like resets, and I'm not trying to get into a whole thing on the history, but I mean, those of us that were born in the modern era, we have to depend on claims of what history really was, So, I mean, would you agree, Anchovy? There's a lot of, at the very least, just like gaps in terms of knowing exactly how everything came to be the way it is right now? I mean, like, for example, let's say, like, if the truth was that we're on some kind of a two-pole planar Earth, if that was the truth. Now, I know there's issues with the whole dual pole, like the perimeter and the circumnavigation and latitude and longitude lines, which I understand all that. But if you have one GP for every star and you have the 2-star rotations, the 2 24-hour suns, which I've talked about, like that's the way like an electric field circuit grid is has the 2-pole structure like that. I'm just saying, if that is the actual truth, then wouldn't that be like pretty wild how we got here with like the globe and the Gleasons, but then the actual thing was a 2-pole where there's like virtually no maps of a dual pole. I mean, a dual pole. There is the one that people have been posting around that kind of does show the continents laid out with Antarctica as a continent, the North as the North Pole as a center point, and then the Antarctica as the south center point. There are like those kind of those layouts or those map projections, but other than that, there's like no history. There's no like independent maps of it. You know, I'm just saying, if that was the truth, wouldn't that be pretty wild that we've gotten to this point with like virtually no documentation other than that one map projection, which you could kind of like, you know, you could kind of like look at it and think about a 2-pole system, but that doesn't mean that's like the actual way the continents are exactly laid out. So I'm just saying, if that was the truth, like underneath all of this, like it would have been pretty hidden and not very available. Like you couldn't just pop on the internet and go find it, you know, because if you do that, you're going to find either the Gleason's map as a flat Earth option or the globe. Oh, okay, I didn't know if my thing was muted or something. I'm just kind of running back and forth from my mic right now. I'm doing something. But I mean, the Southern Stars have always been an issue for the AE, for the Gleasons. So I was just going to say that too. I mean, that's always been a thing that has been heavily debated. You know, back in the day, that was always like, back before Discord and all that, like this guy, like Bro Sanchez used to have these big debates, and the Globe guys would always come in and say the Southern Stars, and then the room would go nuts. And so, I mean, the Southern Star thing has always been just because when you have one pole, when we actually have 2 poles in the sky, but you say there's only one pole, then you have to account for the second pole somehow. And that's the whole thing. And so if you then say it's like a reflection or something that's like rotating around the outside of the rim of the AE map, like as you move, that rotation kind of moves with you. Well, then there's all kinds of implications with that. That means that there's not an actual South Pole. That means that you'd have different ground positions of the stars. Like as you move, you would keep getting different ground positions. That southern pole rotation would move with you essentially, and so on. So it just brings in all of those factors, and then the sun as well. You know, the 24-hour sun. But really, like the fact that there's a southern star rotation is its own. I mean, the fact that the sun also does a rotation around that is sort of in a way secondary to the fact that the stars already have that rotation. So that's why some kind of a dual pole planar Earth does solve that, but it brings in other issues that would have to be worked out and figured out. But it does address that that issue.
So this ain't against what you just said, Gio, at all. It's just something everybody. I've heard so many people make the argument that when it rains on the salt flats and stuff, where if it was slightly curved, it would make a distorted image. Well, I drive a rock truck, and my mirrors on my rock truck are curved. I'm getting ready to post the image of the picture I took. I just noticed it the other day for the first time so I took pictures of it. These mirrors are the glass, and the mirror behind the glass is curved at a pretty good curve, but yet the image looks flat as can look. The image don't look distorted whatsoever. Let me get it pulled up here and I'll post the image. It's on my phone. I have to do it through my phone. But that's not going against what you're saying, Gio, at all. I'm just saying, just trying to bring something up, say something.
So what's the equivalence there? You're saying that the salt flats are curved, but you just don't see it?
People try to say that if the Earth was curved, if it was a globe, then when it rains on the salt flats and it gets a couple inches of water over it and it looks like a perfect mirror, that it would be distorted like a funhouse mirror. And these mirrors on my truck are like, they got a pretty good curve to them. And if you laid a flat edge ruler on them, one end would be touching, the other end would be 1.5 inches off the glass. They're so curved. And yet, when you look through them, I just posted images in the chat, nothing is distorted, especially the big one. They're far more curved than what the salt flats would be, like enormously more curved.
Just let outerponders.com go as a domain if anyone wants it. I'm posting its net worth. It looks like it's worth $8. That's 8 big ones.
Gio, are you going to get a new one called Outer Dual Pole Ponders?
No. I was listening behind today all day at double speed, and I really had a good time listening today. You did a really good job of being around and trying to keep it sane. Not easy on a Sunday. People got a lot of steam to blow. You have a lot of patience, man.
Gio just constantly does other things in the background to alleviate it. It's pretty smart.
Well, yeah, I'm always kind of running around the house and doing stuff and listening and jumping back to my mic. Sometimes I'm right at the computer though, right here. But yeah, we had kind of a bit of a heated debate there, and then after that, Witz had popped in. Did you hear Witz was at that conference, Dan, the TrutherCon, I guess it's called?
No, I heard it was going to be happening though.
Yeah, it was this weekend.
So I think Weiss was going to be there.
Yep. Yeah, he said Weiss was there.
That's not pretty.
You said they're on good terms. You're saying between those two?
I'm just saying that anybody standing next to Weiss has got an integrity problem. That's what I'm saying. I've already spoke to him about it. That if he goes to Arizona, stands next to those people, it's like, dude.
Wasn't it in Texas? You talking about this thing?
The other one's called International Truth Expo. I think it's in 2 weeks. Quartzsite, Arizona. It's the one that Karen sanctioned as the successor for Flattoberfest. It's by a woman named Carol, who started out just really humble, and then recently fucking Weiss and Mark piled on and tried to make it mainstream. It was more grassroots originally.
Okay, I didn't hear about it. I just right now hearing about it from you. Yeah, I just went to the website. Mark Sargent, DJ Curious, Nathan Thompson. I'm just flipping through the ones I've heard of. Andrew Kaufman, David Weiss, Joe Hanvey, and a lot of these I haven't heard of who these people are. I'll read the rest of them.
The girl
Ryan,
putting it on is nice, and I'm on one hand I'm really glad that she got, the stars to show up or whatever. But at the same time, I think it's the last hurrah for flat Earth get-togethers.
why would that be the case? We're just getting started.
Because there's nothing to rally around except liars.
Well,
unless you're religious, and then we could just talk to Greg all day, where nobody could ever agree because we're semantically going to destroy the ability to agree.
Well, if one were to call this a movement, the only way the movement would fail is if it's not true. Now, there might be layers of non-truthness in some things people are saying, but if the Earth just was a globe, then I guess you could say it would die. But if the Earth is planar and stationary, then why would anything die linked to it?
Well, because nobody within this movement that I always call we is going to do anything to show it. They're not going to duplicate Nat Geo. They're not going to put a boat out. They're not going to go check out Catalina. They're not going to float fucking wire or do anything. Nobody is. Nobody has. So that's the truth.
How are you predicting?
Nobody's trying to prove it. Nobody from Flat Earth has enough gumption to do anything.
All right, but how do you know what the future holds? I mean, if that's your feeling of if that's your perception, would it kind of be subjective in a way? But I mean, I hear what you're saying at least, but how would you know what the future holds, even going off what you're saying?
What they did to Jaron, what they did to Patricia was awful. In the whole thing with Robbie, was awful. It's been awful. It's been awful. Rugged.
Your connection is awful now.
You're breaking. All I heard was
break up too.
Not religious.
Right now.
Yeah, I thought really made a real thing.
You're breaking up real bad. That might have been. Whoa! That's all of Discord. That Discord. All right. I was like, is that me or okay? All of Discord.
Well, my banking information.
All right. I guess we're back.
Yeah, I'm around.
Well, you're gonna have to do, Dan. You're gonna have to have a big fundraiser, and you guys are gonna have to get everybody to pull their money together, so you guys can have a couple really good.
Well, that's funny because the only true, unarguable, legitimate thing about me is that I never asked anybody for money, so I ain't fucking that up.
No, that's not asking somebody for money. That's not charity. You're not asking for it for you. You're asking for the community to all come together to fund a couple people to do some experiments. That's different than charity.
Okay, well, you're fucking 3 years behind. We already did it. Shelley spent $70,000. We all spent our own money.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
so wait, so we've already done what you said. So why are you saying?
Never mind, Dan. Never mind.
I mean, I have a unique position. I've already gone out. I have the best proof in my pocket. I have the best challenges.
We were having a nice conversation. Don't gotta get angry.
What? There was nobody talking. You guys fizzled out. There was nothing going on.
Oh, by all means, yell.
Oh, forgive me. Do you have a position that I can muscle in on?
Well, I mean, Dan, there is going to need to be something that would be a game changer. So in a way, I agree with you that, like, maybe if I would say this, so back in like 15, 16, the AE map was kind of presented as like, okay, this is what the Earth is to a lot of people. It's not a globe, but it's this. And that has really been in question from the beginning, though. Some people thought it was, or more associated with thinking it was true than others. Some still think it's true, etc. All of that. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, TFE change. I mean, sort of changed things in some ways, but I mean, the southern stars have always been the case as well. And just the fact that the sun tracks what the stars do is not really that unknown. I mean, like I've always said, like if you think of the star trails as like little race cars on a racetrack, the sun follows those same tracks. So when the sun goes south of the equator, all the little cars that are on the racetrack, are angling towards the South Pole. When they're north of the equator, they're circling towards the North Pole. So the fact that the sun does that too is a consequence of the fact that it also follows what the star trails do, which is circle one of the poles, depending which side it's on. So the sun doing that is really not that big of a difference, but the fact that they did that trip, and that has been like a meme, and the whole, Gleason's AE map flat earth thing of no 24-hour sun, and then just, I realize that is a factor, and then the people's reactions and kind of showing how certain people were really clinging to certain models and ideas, and then trying to call it fake, and all this stuff that has gone on. So there has been stuff that's gone on, but it doesn't really seem to have shifted, in any way, like even close to any significant percentage of people that have a planar stationary Earth cosmology. But it has kind of thickened the plot, I suppose you could say. But with all that being the case, I guess what I was going to say is that, like, if the Earth, sorry, I know it's long-winded. What I was going to say, if the Earth was,
aside from you, what am I going to invite people to? Aside from your server, where it's at least an open question and not a demand and not a "you're going to hell," like, what do I have besides you to invite anyone to? And the answer is jack shit.
Well, but the truth is,
and you say you're not a flat Earth server, so what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to explain to people?
All right, but if we're detectives on a path of detectivery, aren't we all our own detectives in a way? And then we are a community maybe as well, in certain ways of like collectively bringing our detectiveness together. But does it, I mean, you're kind of describing almost more like, I'm not going to say a cult, but you know what I mean? Like, are you wanting to bring people into like a thing has one belief that everyone's just pushing, or are you more of like that it's a decentralized, open platform of thoughts and ideas and uncovering for ourselves and for the rest of humanity? Because
we thought it was open. It's not open though. We thought that this was an open quest. It's not. They throw out anyone that says, you're the only one that doesn't throw people out. You, period. Everyone else makes a bubble pocket, doesn't allow opposition in. You're very well balanced. You expect it, you appreciate it, you don't tolerate too much, but you expect it, as part of life, opposition. And that's very healthy.
I don't know, Dan. He's pretty mean to me.
I don't know.
It was a joke, guys.
A lot of nice things to say about, what I call we, and I'm still very much emotionally attached to it, and it's not healthy. My attachment to flat Earth has not been healthy. Straight up. Sorry. I've been thrashed the whole time for trying to be real, and the other people involved haven't given a shit about being real at all. So no, I'm not going to be looking to get money. The simplest thing would be a toy boat at a half a mile. Bob, the science guy, says there's 2 inches on his fucking mile lake.
Right, but you don't want a globe earther to do an experiment for you. What you want, and you don't want to say, well, we done experiments 3 years ago and we're just going to stop, and what we got's what we got. You continue to do them to try to dig up more evidence.
Well, I've already done it. I've already been part of a group that didn't sit around and watch YouTube. We went out and did stuff. We started at 9. We went to 17. They went to Monterey at 14. We came back and did 27 at Salton. Then we went over land and we did over ice. And one was 16, one was 35. Until we realized, gee, we should have polished this 1 mile thing a little better because we keep going further. Nobody cares. So
yeah, but nobody's stopping anyone from continuing to do those things, though.
Well, there is no longer a team. Everyone either left, moved, or died. So I don't have anyone with P900s and vans and schedules that are ready to hit the road and go work on something. I can't. I mean, no way.
The thing I was going to say before, I know I went a little bit long-winded, but I was going to say that like in 2015, 16, there's the sort of Gleason's map, and I hear you that was something that people rallied around. That was a thing, and that's why like that Joshua Swift guy, he was out in the park with his table set up, and he had an AE map there showing people some general idea of how the sun went around. And then other people have had it on their T-shirts and coffee mugs, and so if that's what you're referring to, kind of like the idea of, oh, the Earth isn't this globe thing, but it is this thing. It is this.
No, but it might be this thing. See, that's the whole hope. That's why I'm so fucked up now. I don't have anything to have hope for. See, it might have been this. We're sure we're surrounded by lies. We're frustrated by 9/11, Kennedy, and current state of war. And Flat Earth gave us something that was still there. It wasn't carted off. It wasn't melted down. It wasn't in the past. We could still argue about it. So it gave me a lot of hope that we might prove that they're lying about the geography entirely, and it tied into the whole UFO thing and our cosmology. I had a lot of hope for that. I don't have as much hope. I mean, I still think that we're aliens and all that shit's interesting, but I don't have any hope that the people involved around Flat Earth give a shit about the truth for any reason. And in the meantime, the faith thing is gnarly, dude. It's gnarly. What do you do with it? Look at Greg. Greg is really cool in so many ways, but he doesn't allow that because he's got this position of strength, iron strength. And it was fun to listen to today because he's being a punching bag because he won't let anyone agree on anything. And therefore, in his eyes, he wins. And I don't want to talk about anyone in particular, but that's a good Flat Earth tactic. If you can disrupt and you can sidetrack and you can, skirt around, you win. And that's how we won for years, is like side arguments and shit. But when it comes down to like, what do I have today? I can't show anyone Weiss or Mark. I have no idea what the fuck Eric Dubé is. And ODD videos were still cool. Supposedly he's a villain. I have no fucking idea what that means, But my question, where are you going to keep your faith now? Like, where do you have hope? What do you want to see us do next? And I hate to say us, but what do you think is possible? Aside from alien disclosure, I think this discussion is kind of over with. Flat Earth discussion is pretty over with. There's nothing to say. No one's going to get out and do anything. Not even the simplest thing with the simplest of equipment ever.
Do you think it benefits anybody being a pessimist?
It's not pessimist. I am real life.
Nobody's going to do anything. No one's going to do anything. We should just what? And what is like? I don't get why you're saying that.
Well, because I'm part of a real life group of real life people, not just online people. And they're not, there's no one to take action on behalf of Flat Earth any longer. No one's going to put their effort into that.
Okay.
It'd be cool if somebody did. I could tell you.
So what is the point of you saying that in here? Are you trying to inspire someone to take up the torch? Like, I don't get your point.
I don't think there's a direction. I've loved having a torch, but nobody was following or telling me where to point it. So I don't see what good shining the light on it is right now. That's a great question, bud. Because I love carrying the torch. But where should I point that? Like I said, if somebody comes, other than coming here where there's open discussion, I don't see anything open anywhere. I see just little bubbles of people in their echo chambers. So, I mean, do you want to do something? Do you know? I mean, I could, You could try and prove the Earth is flat, if that's what you're saying. But all this idea of needing a lot of money is silly. Anybody that cares should replicate the Nat Geo flag experiment, where observers from different heights should see something different, and observers, as it moves to a different, progressively moves away, should progressively have bottom-up obstruction. And all that's before the faraway stuff, where you have all these atmospheric conditions. This is all at 1, 2, and 3 miles. Anybody can do it.
Because it ain't like people have jobs and they can't afford to take off their work, and they can just afford to buy the gas, and they can afford to buy all the stuff, and it's all that stuff.
In this case,
free, right?
It could be done with a toy boat, according to Bob the Science Guy. He can see 2 inches in his backyard and a half a mile in a lake. So a toy boat going across the water should fall a couple inches. Mathematically. That's what we're testing is the math, right? And the problem in the past has been, can we trust optics? And going too far away has invited too much optical crap. So we should really work at a mile. Really bad. Earlier we were talking about, it wasn't here, they were talking about glass tube, a mile long glass tube and shit that's like fanciful, and like no one's going to be buying a mile long glass tube and then putting it into a tower and inverting it. Jesse Patholight was talking about that earlier. I do think you could do a mile of 4-inch PVC pipe, cut the top off of it, level every inch of it for the mile, fill it with water, and look for a deviation in the waters.
That would be cool, Dan.
Since you know there's no deviation, every point is measuring level. The water within it should have a, I think, group at the ends. It should be lower in the middle, higher in the ends. That's doable. A mile of PVC pipe is doable.
How much you think that'd cost you?
I don't know, because I would look to find a place where they're already laying sewer a mile, something like that, and just say, before they lay it in, can I play with it up there on the road? So how long would it take you to level something in a mile, and how many shims are you going to need? It depends on where you're set up. But no doubt, if every point measures level on the globe, the water should have different heights in that tube. If it's capped on the end.
Why would it have different heights?
Curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, but gravity pulls straight down or all the way around the curve, so the water would be level all the way around the curve.
Yeah, but
not in relation to each end. Not in relation to
it would.
Different points. No, only at individual points are what you're saying is valid.
No, every infinitely all the way down the line, gravity pulls straight down. So if it's around a curve, gravity will pull the water around that curve, and no matter where you look at it at, the water will look the same all the way down the line, even though it'll go around the curve. You would have to shine a laser or something down it, something that isn't pulled by gravity, and see if the laser deviates from the curve. Because water will just follow the curve. Water, it would just pull it down all around the curve. It's what gravity does in the globe model.
But
that's why we say water
in a mile. But in a mile, there'd be a high middle. There'd be a high spot in the middle.
Yeah, within a mile, the observer looking through the hole, the water will be at the highest point at where their face is, and it should be curving downwards from to the other end.
No, if you level it exactly the level the whole way, then at everywhere you lay that level, it's going to show perpendicular to straight down, to plumb. It's going to show perpendicular to plumb.
The water is also Do you understand that on a globe, both ends have a different plumb?
Yes, and that's why I'm saying that if you fill the pipe halfway up with water, it would be halfway up with water from end to end, even though it goes around a curve, because gravity is pulling it down at
I'm
an
muting.
infinite number of
Arguing with you is not going to get me anywhere. Thank you.
No, it's not, Dan, because you're not understanding it. That's why you need something that isn't affected by gravity, so you can see what straight is compared to what the curve of the Earth is.
Are you kidding? They say I can't do that. I'm too low to the ground. Remember? They want me to go 100 feet in the air or climb a mountain. Remember?
Yeah, but you would be using a pipe, so you would be able to see it much more clearly if it's there.
Man, if you guys are having a hard time on doing globe versus flat, just wait till you throw concave in there. That makes it even fucking worse. You'll end up seeing the same thing, measuring the same thing. Oh man, it's terrible.
Are there any like concavers out there? Like actual
No,
people?
they're
Like,
lonely.
Yeah, Joe Dubs. The guy's name is Joe Dubs, and his website is totally cool, and so is he. And I couldn't fucking believe it.
Oh yeah, he said any. Yeah, there's some, but it's pretty
And Ernie, brother Ernest, he's concaver.
There's a bunch of Russians. There's Italian. There's some Spanish, really cool Spanish guys. But I'm not like Dan that really tries to get into the whole social scene and social aspect. I'm just focusing on the science and seeing what that gives me. I actually, to some degree, I think that getting too deep into the social aspect really hinders that figuring out.
Gio, did I ask you about the Church of the Subgenius? Because their silly thing turned into a real religion, and they had a like coming of Jesus day that had a date, kind of like now TFE marked a date of something, you know? And so to me, it's like that going forward after their due date was really hard for any of them because there was nothing to look forward to in their practice, in their thing. So I'm wondering what the hell I could look forward to with flat Earth because I'm a very disappointed flat earther. And I just hear people talk, but they're not gonna do anything. I've been hearing it forever. I happen to work with people that did something, some great people that said we're gonna go look, and again, it was a big fight with Mick West. Every time he'd make a response, next thing you know, he said we can't do it over water, so we had to go do it over land. Then they said we weren't level, we had to go back with the auto level. It was time and time again. We went back to prove it. And we didn't cherry pick and still have it. So I got enough flat earth evidence, but it's just not enough to beat their evidence. It's like we might have won a round or two in a 10-round fight, but they've got 8 rounds on us. And the judges are going to score for the globe because they have more evidence than we do. And our people that I thought were telling us, had gone through things with things like Globebusters, and in review that we had some peer groups, some peer review. We don't. We have a bunch of people that accidentally self-censored and protected each other into this mess that we have. Because there isn't any peer review going on, because we're not cleaning up anything. And Nathan Thompson's still printing that shit on his flyer that I've been fighting for 5 years to tell people about because I went to the streets and the streets came back with real math. Flat Earth could care less. Fuck. Pissed. Still pissed. I'm still fighting for Flat Earth, but I don't see how I can do it and remain. I don't know how I can do it with the religious people next to me. I just don't see how to say, hey, it still could be this, it still could be that with the fervor that you do, Gioga, and I appreciate it because they're going, no, it's fucking like this, motherfucker, and you're gonna go to hell because you don't realize it because you didn't read my book. By the way, it's their book. It's the book. It's like, no, it's just books, it's just a book. It's not the book. There's other ones, the Quran and stuff. So it's weird when they're like, it's the book. So I don't know how to stand next to them. And that's all I got next to me.
Stand next to the truth. That's what it's all about, right? Stand next to the truth, focus on that, and let the others help you. That's what ultimately matters. That doesn't mean disregard people or stuff like that, or communities don't matter. The truth matters.
It leads to the type of conversations we have with Gregory then. And when are we involved with too much semantic and not moving with the subject? And it's nice that you tried to catch, him, everyone did. And it was nice that you tried to catch Whitsitt today too. And I just thought there was a lot of healthy conversation today. Even though it got a little ugly, it wasn't out of hand. And I think that only happens here. I think it's out of hand everywhere else. So there's a certain amount of honesty to trying and hoping and looking. And Flat Earth was great when it had hope and we were, maybe it's this and it could be that. But that shit has narrowed down a great deal by finding out that the people around us are willing to lie to us. So now we don't know if anything anybody said was ever any good. As a matter of fact, we know it's all bad.
I spent 4 years as a flat earther, and in my opinion, though I no longer am in that camp and don't think it's a possibility, I don't regret my time. I learned a lot, and it would never have happened without flat Earth. So,
why isn't it a possibility? Can you please explain?
Just based on the things I've learned for myself personally.
Like, can you be more specific?
Mainly to seeing data and models from a large scale view.
Can you be more specific? It's kind of everything you're saying is vague.
You could think what you want. I mean, that's what you're going to do anyway.
I'm not thinking anything. I just want your explanation. You say it's impossible, so I want to know, how is it impossible?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's for me. So the reason why I said it.
Then why say it out loud?
You see, ladies and gentlemen, the emotional reaction we're getting. So
I'm not emotional. I'm just asking you because you say something and you don't back it up. I'm trying to ask you.
I don't need to back it up. It's for me.
Well, I mean, then don't say it. I mean, there's no point for you to talk. If you're gonna say something, then come with some actual data, bro.
Yeah, you didn't really bust him. You didn't really bust him because he didn't feel like listing globe points. You didn't bust him much, really.
He ain't saying much at all. I'm not saying that I'm busting him, but he's saying that it's impossible. And I would like some specifics on what he's saying is impossible, so I could have that information to see if it's true or not. I mean, if it's impossible, I would like to know.
I just want you to know I met a satellite guy, and he was ancient. He was an old-fashioned satellite guy when they first came out. And he was actually a guy that realized, when they first realized if you go all the way around, that there's going to be precession of the Earth and you won't be on target anymore. And he had to calculate like a burn to get back on target. And he was really fucking proud of it. It was really interesting. And back in the day, it was secret. He couldn't talk about it. And by the time he retired, nobody cared. And by the time I came around, he had forgotten most shit in terms of speeds and stuff. But he really liked talking about it. And he thought I was, kind of dumb, not dumb, but he thought I was cool. But we talked for a long time. But he wanted me to know it wasn't flat. And he wanted me to know about going around it and what it took. And just so you know, the fun part of it, in that day, to do a calculation, they had these modules that represented a mathematical calculation. And there weren't really screens or anything yet in the computers. And you literally, with 1/4-inch jacks like music equipment, plugged one calculation into the next box, which did another calculation.
But that's a complete red herring to the point because he's
Okay.
said that if flat Earth is impossible, I would still like to know why.
Okay, so here's the thing. I had to look the
You
man
didn't
in the
make
eye.
that claim. You didn't
I had
make
to
that
look him in the
claim.
eye, right?
You didn't make that claim though.
But
Talking
listen,
about what
he was asking Gatebreaker. I mean, Gatebreaker, if you're going to make a claim like that, if people want to know truth and want to get to truth, what if you're going to say it's impossible, wouldn't you understand that people would want to ask, why are you saying it's impossible, so that they could then consider it, whether it is or isn't?
Maybe, but this is for Elbow. I did state a reason why for me. One thing I did for me. Can you repeat what I said? If you can't, I'm for sure not going to do it. Okay, go ahead. What did I say?
No, I'm not sure what you said.
I'm not going to say it then.
Well,
Carry
then,
on, Dan.
I don't think you said anything.
He said that
large,
maps and models, basically.
Oh, he did say the model parts, but he doesn't.
Maps and large scale models, yeah.
Yeah,
he
and he was
he
trying to
just said that model
conceptualize
part,
it.
but he was I said that was pretty vague.
But it's sort of understandable, right? You get it? Like he has like a certain standard he wants to meet for himself, which is a physical representation of what he considers reality to be, with all the facts that he has or he's obtained, and he's not happy with like a certain concept, so he's just rejects it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Gabriel. Do you know about the Chaldeans, right? Original Babylonians, the classic. What is it? The Babylonians. Do you know them, right? Do you know about them, Gatebreaker?
Gee, I don't. I'm interested. Taunting him is not really very classy.
That's all he does. I've
I
told
know,
him
no, you
I
guys
told
look
him
at
I don't
the
want to
content,
engage with him,
but I'm
and
here
I'm not
to
going to
really.
engage with him today.
I'm
I
here.
don't think he's telling him. I think he was trying to make a point. But this is the sad state of concave Earth: is that all they do is come in here and try to undermine flat Earth. They don't really say anything. They just say flat Earth doesn't work. Why don't you guys move on to something else? Like their goal is to try to subvert and undermine flat Earthers because they think that's how they can convert people to concave Earth. They all do that.
What's crazy is that Chaldeans has like the solar cycles. We still use that. They had what's the Chaldean order, which is how they map the sun, the stars, the moons, sun, star, moons, and planets. We still use that in current systems. So everything based on a stationary, flat Earth, Earth centric flat Earth was based, and they still use it now. So how is it that you're saying they have models and whatever, but yet they use old classical models that are based on flat stationary Earth?
Show how they did it for the Southern Hemisphere. I'd love to see it, considering I love models. Show me. Go
They
Google it
use
now.
it. They use it in their
Show
system
me
now.
Show me the model that they use. I'd
Look
love to
this
see it.
up, bro. But you said you weren't going to engage with me, so why would I engage with you?
This
Why
is
would
your
I show
quality.
you?
This is your
Ask you,
elbows
listen to
muted on
this,
my end, ladies
listen.
and gentlemen. I'm not gonna
If
repeat.
oh wow, so
it again.
now
It's not
is that
happen.
gonna
Move
fly,
forward.
Joe? So he's gonna be able to mute me. Really?
It's a fair question. What about the South? It turns out the South exists as of January last year. We're pretty sure the South exists.
I've never said the South never existed. So I mean, the thing is, why am I going to show him when I ask him for data and information he wants to ignore and say that he's not going to present for nothing? So why would I give him something without him giving me anything at all?
It's called slap and run, man. You just make a insulting thing, or you say something that's unfalsifiable, and you get called out on it, and you're just like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna make up some excuse to not engage with you," which is a really cheap tactic.
Yeah,
100%. He does this all the time.
Gally, I'm scared to death what you catch me on. You better tell me. Gally,
don't give so much credit to Will Duffy, some dude who came in and decided to take a few YouTubers on a vacation. I mean, granted, people we know, the people that some people know went there, like Witsit and Jaren and MC Toon and stuff, but he basically paid for some guys to take a vacation. Granted, yes, it was some people that we were able to talk to and they live streamed when they were there, but it didn't really change that much. I mean, it really, what, for that, it changed your viewpoint on whether there was a South? Like, you didn't know there was a South? Southern Star rotation and the Abinson Scott base station and all of that before? I'm just saying, don't give him too much credit.
Well, he failed. He wanted to get rid of the people using the Bible for flat Earth, and he didn't. He got rid of it, the other people, unfortunately. So that was a big surprise because all we have left is the religious flag. So I don't know. Like, I'm shocked. He didn't win. And you do know, because you were doing all the research beforehand, that the trouble came out before they went. You know, is that there weren't any answers for us. And we're still there. Before they went, you were pretty sure, I was pretty sure they're going to find a 24-hour sun. What that meant to us is that we're now still trying to figure it out.
But again, it was a reification of a model that y'all that not all flat earthers took, but it was what they presented, and they thought that that was the actual thing. But it was, well, of course, it was a projection of a globe model.
It busted my best tool in terms of my street activism. I had a lighted sun and moon going around model.
All right, but did you okay, then back then when you were on the street telling people that, did you tell them how the sun arcs in the south and sets south of east, south of west? Did you tell them how the southern stars all have GPs and the southern star rotation, there's not multiple GPs? I mean, did you tell them the stars appear to go straight at the equator and they don't make concentric circles? Because all those things have been known about for many, many years, far before Will Duffy came in and started to try to do something. So did you just ignore all those issues, or did you not know about them?
I trusted the Mark Sargent and the original, idea of a panel called the Busters to be looking into that stuff. So all research wasn't my responsibility. That those panel programs ciphered through stuff and cared about the truth. I thought Flat Earth was a truth movement.
Okay, so your answer is you didn't really address those things. You're saying you just trusted others that they had figured it out, or that they had some answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, this goes back to like independent thought versus jumping on bandwagons, maybe, to what other people might be saying. I'm not saying you did that or whatever.
We did our work. No, we did our work. It was just about when it came to the South, all the mudslinging came out, and the throwing under the bus, and I already had integrity problems with them. So, I mean, fuck, what can I say?
Yeah, but we're in a world like there's a bunch of people promulgating the globe thing. From the perspective that the globe is false, there's a lot of problems there. And then there's the AE map thing, and like Elbow was saying, it's kind of a model or an idea that some people attached to, some didn't, some have been on the fence about it, etc. And like he was saying, it's a projection of a globe model, which it can be debated, like exactly what that AE map comes from, and so on, the history of all that. And then it seems like a bunch of people jumped on that and then, made coffee mugs and rah, that's my baseball team now. Maybe without really fully thinking it all through, because the third option would be something maybe they don't know. And people don't like to not know. They like to have something where they can root for their baseball team and have t-shirts and say, this is what I think Earth is, when they tell their friends or family, which is understandable. This is like worldview stuff. It's very foundational, to not like have a solid worldview. It takes a lot of strength to actually be able to be in some level of unknowing, instead of just feeling like you have to know and therefore going to cling to something, So I mean, the AE map.
What about the lies, though? I mean, the hope I get, I hear you, but the people are now total liars. They're thieves. Weiss is a thief. He's an admitted thief. He's an admitted liar.
Well, people are fallible.
Yeah, we could go through all day of people on globe sides, flat earth sides that are honest or lying or everywhere in between. Also, what you're calling a lie, it may be some of these things may be their misconceptions or their lack of.
That's nice of you to say, but it's not. It's not. It's nice of you to say, but it's not true. These people are repeated liars, obsessively and consistently. That entire round table was
all right.
all.
Give me a person that has never lied.
Yeah, I mean that's a commentary on those. That's a commentary on those people. For example, I'm not trying to shift it to this, but in terms of like ayahuasca, there are real shamans and there are fake shamans. Just because there are fake shamans, like sorcerer shamans that are stealing people's money and hurting people, does not mean that ayahuasca is not legitimate. It means that those are fake people who use ayahuasca or who promulgate it or whatever. So in the same way, from the earth being stationary and planar being the truth, just because there is someone involved in the movement, if you want to call it that, or the thing that may be in some way not of highest integrity, does not really have any commentary on what the actual truth is. It's just a commentary on that person, on that individual, or what they've done or whatever.
Okay, so
I would say.
Go
ahead, Dan.
No, it's.
I just want to. Okay. I'll be quick. Part of the issue is, I mean, if you were going and doing the streets and you were working with that idea of the Southern Hemisphere and the Southern Stars, you know, you didn't maybe articulate it correctly, and then you've gone and told that person, and then they went and looked into it and they found, well, I mean, what you said was not correct. Now they're going to think that you're a liar. So I'm just I'm thinking about the way that you're sort of characterizing these other people and deeming them like they could just be going off some sort of notion, maybe mistaken or whatnot, just like you were mistaken about the Southern Hemisphere. But you're deeming them as liars. And all I would say is that someone else experiencing you, like just repeating what someone else said, would now be calling you a liar, a misleader, and a
So here's
beguiler.
what really happened, though. I went to the streets, and the streets spoke back. I actually dragged somebody off the beach who came and sat with us. His name is Matthew Learns. And Matthew Learns got back to me and said, you guys were a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. I just wanted you to know I teach math, and you guys should get your math right. And I went, whatever. He doesn't know 8 inches per mile squared. Completely fucking ignored him, right? Then he went back with me a couple of times, email, and I ignored him. And then the next time I saw him, he said, hey, I told you, you guys should look into this, you know? And at that point, I had to. And at that point, he had joined Discord, and I wasn't on Discord for a whole nother year, where he began a battle on Discord to try and communicate with Flat Earthers basic math so we could go forward with the conversation. In the meantime, I was doing it, trying to go the back door and trying to ask Globebusters to go through Eric Dubé's stuff, because it turns out it's Eric Dubé's stuff that we were repeating for 8 years without looking, or for 5 years without looking into it. And that's fucking lame. We were lame, you know? And so for everyone to have run for years listening to Eric's stuff and not ever checking it is it's pathetic, you know? And so when I brought it up, I go, hey, you guys are just doing reruns. As a matter of fact, they were doing reruns because Bob and Jaron were fighting over Gravity, so they didn't have any content to present. And I said, well, instead of reruns, why don't we go through Eric's stuff? Oh, don't tell me what to do. And I got a huge fight with Bob trying to present real math. In the meantime, I'm still trying to get Nathan Thompson to stop printing it. And he still prints the bad math. And he still knows it's been contested for a long time. And so I can't get Flat Earth to stop telling things, whether I call it a lie or not. You're right. That sucks. Shouldn't call it a lie. But
you can't get anyone to do anything in this world, man. That's what you're setting yourself up for failure.
Math isn't.
You're setting yourself up for failure, dude.
But math is math. In this case, if there's nothing to discuss, if you're continually presenting bad information, you're making a mockery of what would be truth. You got to remember, Nathan Thompson went out on a clown tour nationwide. I just didn't think he's able to help in some ways.
You can't stop people from saying whatever they're gonna say. You do know that, right? You know that there's a thing called free speech and someone's will. Like, you can't control other
that's
people.
A great point. So how do you feel about having Flat Earth liars fighting?
I don't identify with Flat Earth as much as you do like that, bro. Like, I don't find it like an identity.
Yeah, but dude, I made the analogy with the ayahuasca thing. Dude, there are articles right now and people saying completely false things about Iboga and ayahuasca all over the place. But I can't go out there and police them all. You know what I'm saying? People are going to just be free to say what they say. You know, and there's misinformation in probably every category. out there,
So you got to a great point, because this isn't an argument. This is a great conversation now. What do we do with our own personal integrity when we know we should kind of call someone out? Like, we should mention that the math is wrong.
You keep saying
we don't need to call it a lie, but yet perpetuating something that isn't correct becomes your personal liability now. If you're eating it and you know better, and it's like, oh, yeah, well, we'll excuse it. Why? How? How much excuse can you allow if someone's distributing misinformation? Regardless of my label, it's misinformation. You know that it's okay. So you don't have a response. You don't have the power, but you do know better. In other words, what happened to peer pressure or shame? Why aren't we allowed to talk to these people? Is because of their game. They will cut you off if you try and talk to them. Now, that's
just who are you talking about? Let's get specific instead of these just like vague truisms.
Okay, let's say that one of the most popular people in flat Earth is Weiss.
Okay. Call him out.
Weiss and I used to be friendly till he stole.
Jeremy says, "Who the fuck is we?" And I agree with that question, Dan.
Well, that's just a side little track that you like to take to prevent us from talking, because we are.
No, it's true. You keep saying we. Like, what should we do? Like, how should we call? No, like, it's.
Yeah, let me say something on that, Dan, because it makes a difference. So, for example, I just used the example of the ayahuasca thing, okay? Not to go into the topic, just to use it as an analogy. Now, there are people out there writing articles, having retreat centers and stuff that are not doing the right work. They're either hurting people or they're using the wrong plants. They're mixing other plants with it. They use datura species that they mix in with the blend. They do all kinds of different things. So that I can't control them. Like, if I was the police or something like that, that's a different story, the government, but I can't do anything like that. However, if I have a group and we are sharing something, then there is a we. Like, if there's so that's my point is that if it's like has to do with association. So like, even though there's people out there that are going to be doing what they're doing, the fake sorcerer shamans somewhere, fake shamans, like fake sorcerers that are in South America that are running retreats and all that, that's not a we with me. Like, I'm not with them. Like, they might be using certain plants or saying certain things that might associate or overlay somewhat with my viewpoints, but they're not a we. So I can't just assume they're a we. So I can't just go there and say, and try to control them in a way. However, if I had a group called, Gio's ayahuasca group or whatever, and we were a we, when we actually were a we, then that's different. Meaning, if there's 10 of us and then one of the people is saying something, then that is a we, especially if there's like financial, there's involvement, there's, whatever going on, then that is a we. So I'm just using that as an analogy. Like, with terms of flat Earth as it is, there isn't like one organization right now where it's like there are people being paid and that there's a we and there's, you know what I mean? It's just an independent thing of open source people. So it just seems like when you go on this train of thought, it's often what I say to you is that, like, it seems like you're assuming, even though you might agree with someone that the earth is flat or you have some alignment, if they're separate from you and they haven't agreed and consented to be in a we with you, then they're just people that maybe overlap with your viewpoints, but you may not have like the authority to go and correct them the way that an employee and an employer would be able to, kind of thing.
Okay, I lost every form of possible rebuttal thought because I had it in my head, but you went on just a little too long. Imagine Christianity. You're getting to a great point. People say, I don't like your church. They say, go have your own church. So let's call that Robbie Davidson just for a sec, And it's like, I'm not blaming him. It's not about him, but I'm just saying.
Can you address Gio's point, though?
Yes, exactly. Because Mark Sargent claims Flat Earth University, there isn't such a thing. There at one time, they had Church of the Flat Earth that was done by David, what's his name, in New Mexico. I can't think of his name right this second. and Angel, and that was Church of the Flat Earth or Chofty, and that was because we were coming up as persecuted. Flat Earthers were being persecuted. We had no legal rights unless we were together as something that had rights. So there was, of course, the church idea. Then, like I said, Mark Sargent calls something Flat Earth University. He also claims that he's a recruiter towards something. So if it was a form of Christianity, it didn't develop into something named with any physical doctrine or anything other than, let's say, Nathan Thompson. I don't know what else there is, handing out material and being a religious flat earth. But there is that. In other words, when you say we, there most certainly is the hope. And if there isn't, I'd like to go even further into Christianity, into why are all these churches then? Why do they have all these churches?
What are you talking about?
I'm afraid flat earth became just another church. That's what I'm afraid.
Okay, that's your opinion, bro.
Okay. So that's all well and good, Dan. It sounds to me like you kind of maybe got a bit of addicted to the progress that was being made in the early days when this whole flat Earth thing came about, right? Firstly, like it initially launched, and you got a lot of traction. It was the big thing, and now it's just not
the word truth came out a lot. It was about truth to some of us.
Well, it was the new hotness, and look, it's just gone away. It's subsided for now. This is a lull period. You'll get that with anything, man. Like things will go gangbusters, the stock market will explode, and then it contracts. Ideas get like promulgated, really big topics, and then it retracts. So you're just in a lull period, man. Like you're out on your surfboard, and you're waiting for the next big set to come through. And you may just need to be a little bit patient, because if you go to force it when it's not the right time or not with the right ideas, you're going to end up looking silly. Like there's a time and place for these things. And I suppose like at the moment, it just may be coasting along.
It's a longer run than that. We've already been through it. It's fun to go in the street and hassle people about what they think. It's a lot of fun, regardless of the subject. It's a lot of fun doing man on the street stuff and dealing with people's programming. And I think this is a desperate time. We should talk about programming. Should talk about really the trauma bond that allowed flat earthers to want to be flat earthers, because it is a trauma bond. It's people that didn't know where to put their energy. And right now, I don't know where to put my energy. I don't want to place it into another quote unquote religion, because now I'd be conscious of doing it. And it'd be
go to the
gross.
Globe. Go to the Globe. They need you.
There's nothing
man,
there.
You're never going to be able to really sell a victimhood complex. So trying to tell someone or convince someone of some sort of trauma bonding, you're never going to do that out on the street, my guy. That's
bullshit. Every shrink talks about it. They all talk about it.
It's an intimate process. It's an intimate process between usually like one or two people. Oh, sorry, 2 or 3 people. It's not something in public. People aren't sort of willing to like put their guard down in a public sphere like that.
False. I turn people into flat earthers like at grocery stores. What are you talking about, dude?
I'm not talking about the flat Earth stuff. I'm talking mostly, like he said, to change the topic or subject to this. What was it called again? Sorry, like the victim complex, like this trauma-based mind control. Sort of change the topic to that, and then I don't know, but yeah, you can go flat Earth smack people in the street. I'm sure that'd be fun.
I want to go on the street and tell people about how Patricia Steer is a man. Dennis Lucca's brother.
Why would you even say that? It's so like, you people are so frail in the head and so sad. I don't know how people could still say shit like that.
I hope you watch my next video. It's all about Mark Sargent or Dennis Lucca, Patricia Steer, all the shills, Nathan, all fake.
Why would they have turned on each other then? Why is
oh my
Patricia...
god, WWE is so crazy. They're all fighting each other. Oh my god.
It's WWF. We were flat.
Well, I don't watch fake fighting, so why would I know?
You have it all wrong.
I think it was WWE at one point.
Anyway,
yeah,
it'd be fun if people with accusations had stuff behind it.
Dan, if you were more like noteworthy, you'd be in my video because you're also fake shill.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. You don't have any evidence of me being fake or a shill.
Yeah, but Dan, you know,
terrible piece of crap for saying.
But from being in this for years, Dan, you know that these people exist. The Eric Dubés, the ones who call everybody shills.
Why don't you address what he said? Do you know me as a shill? Do you know me as fake or as a shill? Why don't you set him straight? Instead of interrupting and letting people get away with that fucking accusatory shit, set him straight. You know me.
All right, you interrupted me. Did you feel like I interrupted you? I'm sorry if I did. Finish.
I feel like we didn't address the accusations that are beginning by this asshole when you let people come in and throw accusations around.
That if we had to rebut everyone,
what would you like me? What would you like me to do? Ban QOP?
I'd like you to vouch for me as being neither fake nor a shill. Thanks.
Okay. Well, what I was
You're not gonna?
What I was going to say is that there are people, I was going to make a larger commentary. There are people in this community for years. They are like the shill callers. They go around and they call everybody shills. Eric Dubé did it and others do it. Maybe they think it gives them some power. Maybe they think it makes them like the ultimate truther. Maybe they're trying to get attention. Maybe they're trying to make everybody fake but them kind of a thing. It's like a psychological, I was going to say
those crazy people
kind of condition who just, they troll and they come in and they do that. So all I was saying, Dan, I wasn't trying to make a comment about you. I was just saying that there are people who do it. So why would you be surprised that this guy QOP is one of them?
No, I'm asking you dearly as a friend, why would you allow it? You know that you haven't responded to me asking you about this very subject. Why do you allow this type of person to do this?
Can I respond to that?
Okay, when you say allow, what would you like me to do, Dan? This is
instead, you could stand up for me, correct the man, and say, I know Dan enough to know he's neither fake nor a shill. That's what I asked you to do.
Can I respond to that just quickly? Is that all right to you?
Questioning the camp, Dan. That's off limits to the what they call whatever this is. The moment you start thinking for yourself and being honest to yourself and to your heart, how dare you? That's what goes on in here. And these guys will find out the day they ever decide to move 1 inch forward.
Okay.
Fuck you, Jeremy. Fuck you, Jeremy. See, Gio, that's exactly what I told you. Jeremy taunts, and you go,
why Jeremy?
There to be moderation somewhere. Jeremy's out there fucking taunting.
Period, bro.
That's exactly what I fucking told you about, Gio.
His vagina's bleeding.
Dan, can I respond to you? Can I respond to you, Dan? Just quickly.
No, I'm trying to get Gio
you asked Gio a question. He's not like, I've got an ideal answer. I think that would be suitable, right? It's like takes me 30 seconds to lay out. Dude, of all the accusations that go flying around in these voice chats and stuff, if you say, oh, like I'm really offended by that, you draw more attention to it. That's what you've just done in this process. Actually, you're better off just like pretending like it almost never happened, dude. This is the thing. Like,
fundamentally, everything you say is correct, but it's too late. I'm years into this. And you're not helping. I get you're fundamentally correct.
You're not helping yourself, Matt.
I get it.
Your neck is in a twist.
Welcome to me. Welcome to me.
I can't give my reasons why I think he's a shill. We could
Dan,
talk about
any real truth seeker, the first thing they would do is want to know, Dan, what have you learned in terms of like the science and like FE and stuff? What have you learned that made you like I'm not even gonna say change your mind, but these guys aren't doing that. They're immediately attacking you, and that's a red flag for everyone in here.
I'm not attacking him at all. I just said what I think, and I can give evidence.
Dan has more. Mine, obviously not for everyone in here. Dan has done more work than most of you in here combined.
Wow.
And if he can be in this position to even be insinuated as a fucking shill, you're not safe either.
I'm not safe.
It's auto hope.
Can you tell me what work had done?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, all I can do is moderate. If he's doing personal attacks, he already has 1 million warnings. If he gets a QOP, if he gets another warning, he'll be gone for like a week. So we can just keep doing warnings. Eventually that becomes indefinite. So he's probably going to get one soon since he's pretty vile and continues to do this stuff.
Vile.
That's all I can do. So I can't. If you're asking me to like defend who and is or isn't shills, I'm not really in that game. I've never met you in person. I don't have the full story of every single human being. I've shared publicly some thoughts. I think Mark Sargent is likely something going on with him, but I know you don't agree with that. So that's about the only person I've ever really talked to about actually being some kind of operative. He's also like the one who's been on all the major news stations, and there's a lot of reasons that I think that, but he's like the only one I've really said that about. But these people like Rusted Soul and QOP who go after other people in the community constantly. All I can do is moderate for it, and what else can I do? I'm not in the game. I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge in a court case that's doing like analysis of people's.
When I try and talk to you in private, this is what you said. You said, I'm not really into any of this interpersonal drama. Yet every beef I've had since on your server is people playing out interpersonal drama. Now, the guy says he has reasons. I think we should hear him out. Because that's what I'm asking for. If somebody's going to make an accusation, they should be clear about it. They should have seen Patricia's penis.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
All right, so you're asking QOP for proof that either Patricia's a shill or you're a shill. Which one is that? What we're doing?
Anybody that comes in, like Rusted, went out of the way to make videos called receipts. That's what people should do. If you allow people to come in without receipts, it's just not okay. The dude says.
That's what I'm working on right now. You're just not important enough to be in my video.
He's lucky I'm not in his sights because he's going to get me too.
You're on no one's sites. That's why you're not going to be in the video. No one's going to know who you are, bro.
Then shut the fuck up. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, QOP has turned into really a troll. He used to kind of come in and have decent combos.
No, I'm just exposing shills like you. You're going to be in my video. You're one of the main guys.
Yeah, see, he's psychotic. So he's just going to keep doing that.
Psychotic.
Yeah, it's sociopathy and psychopathy with delusion.
There's no psychopathy diagnosis. Not on the DSM. Good job.
Gio, could you read what Jeremy's doing still? Can you explain that to me? I begged you to put Jeremy in check. I begged you to put Jeremy in check. You see him taunting in chat, don't you? Don't you?
He's not responsible for what others do, though, man. Like,
yes, he's responsible because he held it against me, claiming that Jeremy is a responsible mod and is handling shit while I was trying to personally fucking be in a conversation. He says, "Don't worry about it. Jeremy's got it under fucking control."
Why do we have to listen to your identity? Like, wait.
Everything's okay. All right, let's just keep going.
Dan, every time you're in here, dude, you seem to go through some sort of self-identity crisis, and the whole conversation orientates itself around you, your persona, and all the rest of it.
Because we're talking about stuff that's real. Because we talk about stuff that's real, and
well, we're getting kind of double hit right now. We have QOP and Dan. We were having some good conversations, progressing things forward. Now we have two people that are into the interpersonal drama. Now there's all kinds of accusations and claims. This is what you guys do to keep the conversation around from truth and growth and positivity. You want to make claims, calling people all kinds of names and allegations. That's what you guys.
And you're going to include me in that? You're going to include me as an accuser? Is that what you're going to do?
You're doing a lot of it and bringing a lot of the drama right now.
I no longer feel I have a argument in this. I've tried to talk to you about this in private. I've tried to not hold it against you when you've taken this any kind of stance whatsoever. I've tried to hold nothing against you, but right now I absolutely have to. You've led down this path where you're not allowing any sort of piece of truth here.
And just let the tears out.
You guys go ahead and play.
Needs to ban
Let
Gio.
me know. Somebody DM me if you need truth or fact. Go play.
Let the tears out, Dan. Cry. It's safe.
Pretend people have penises. Go ahead and do what you got to do, guys. Go ahead.
You guys didn't ask a single question about FE. What changed your mind? What did you learn? Just automatically focus on
the God-giver's telling us to reconsider our model. Every time. It's so random, bro.
If anyone here thinks they're the exception to that, if you think you're going to one day possibly, and let's just pretend, wake up and discover, oh, maybe FE just something about it, and you're
This is
gonna get
always the
attacked
thing
in
you're
the
yelling
same
about, no
fucking
matter
way.
what the
That's
conversation is, bro.
sad. So that's all. I'm not. This has nothing to do with me. That's it.
I know
Go
you
ahead.
say that every time anyone's talking about anything. We'll be talking about like pudding. You'll be like, "Why didn't
Yeah, I
FE
try to be
people
useful in
fucking
the way I
reconsider their
can.
model?"
I try to
Just
be useful in
become
the way I can.
just become a Glober, Dan. At least they won't treat your own side won't treat you like that when you're on the far
Well, I
side.
think that's what a lot of it stems from, Cole. Because like me personally, my engagement with him was like trying to figure out where he's going with all this, what is going on, and he straight up told me, he's like, "Yeah, it's the fucking ball." So it's like,
He
Yo, I have a
when,
question.
when he used to hang at the
Now that
M&M
Dan's
server.
gone, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, he
I
was
have a
like that
question
a
for
lot
Gio.
over there.
So Gio, last time, one of the times we talked a couple days ago, I brought up that you were like in that private call on Ether Cause, and we were listening. I'm wondering if you wanted to change what you said. You said it never happened. I don't know if you maybe are claiming not to remember, or you're just gonna lie. But like, do you want to change what you said, because there's people in here that also heard that call with me?
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything didn't happen. I've been in ether cosmology at times. We've had discussions. First of all, I always assume anytime I'm speaking or typing on Discord, it's public. Even if it's in a private DM, I know people can share it, record it, and do whatever. So there's nothing I ever would need to do that would be secretive in any way, shape, or form on Discord ever, especially if it was in an ether cosmology VC. So that, plus there's nothing secretive anyways. Whatever conversation you're talking about was probably just a conversation we were having in there. I never said that it didn't happen. What I said is that your claims that you said that I was doing like some gatekeeping about Witsit vaping or something, that I said that was false. I've never had to defend anything about Witsit vaping or not vaping. I thought that's maybe what you were referring to. So other than that, it sounds like you've either fabricated something or you're saying things about what I said that are not true. If you have the recording, post it or send it to me or send it to somebody or whatever, and I'll take a listen. Like I said, if it was anything I said in any of public discords, you're trying to pretend like it was something secret that you caught because somebody was recording it. That's not, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just before we got the high resolution footage of Witsit vaping when he was still lying about it. Before you guys found out that he was vaping, but before you guys even saw like what was happening, because there's not enough frames to even like figure it out, you guys were already making excuses, and then we hear you guys in like a private call. I got like a mod, like I had a mod on my server that was a mod in Ether Cause that just kind of played it for us. You guys are all talking about how to deal with me and how to deal with VapeGate and Witsit's like, you're trying to like help him like figure out how to like just gatekeep it and just damage control. When
Okay,
you guys
I think you're lying. So post it.
So
Post it.
Blob,
Post
did you
it.
hear that call?
Yeah, I was
Post
there.
it. Post
Yeah,
it.
we didn't record it, bro.
Post it. Oh, now it's not
We
recorded?
didn't
Because
record
I've
it.
never done any gatekeeping of that sort. So I'm now going to say you're lying. So to say here that there's some recording that just you're summarizing is a deception. Post it. Go ahead, post it.
We didn't record it.
Oh,
It
so you
wasn't
don't have it.
recorded.
So you're making it all up. You don't have a recording of it now.
So because it's
No,
not recorded,
someone-
I'm making it up.
Yeah,
Someone
because
played
anyone
it.
can just say anything. Oh, you were on a thing talking about a thing, and you can just lie. Post it. I've never done anything what you just said ever. I'm also not a mod on Ether Cosmology. If anything, I've only been in there a handful of times in the VC talking. I've never done any gatekeeping about any vaping ever. I was the first one who asked Witsit if he had a vape. But go ahead and post it. Otherwise, you're lying.
Am I?
Yeah, go ahead, post it.
I don't have it, dude. Like you're just
Okay,
claiming
then
just because I
you're a
don't have it.
fucking
Like
liar. Then you're a liar.
this is
Then you're
nice.
just lying. Coming in here trying to slander and lie. That's what you're doing. You have nothing. I've never gatekept anything, ever. So
I'm
you
really
are
getting to you, huh?
lying. Yeah, never have. So to come in here and try to make allegations and try to make it sound like I did something I didn't, to try to sway other people's viewpoints is a lie. Post it or you're lying. I've never gatekept anything or
That's a
done
false
anything
dichotomy.
close to what you're referring to ever.
Even if I thought what you thought, Quap, I wouldn't be saying it unless I had really good evidence. Otherwise, it's just like it makes it
I
look
know.
like you're slandering, dude.
I'm messing with your daddy,
You-
Anna.
Dude,
Yo, you've never
like,
gate kept anything?
It's poor form.
Nothing? Not even once?
Obviously, of course not. Why would I? Do you know who I am? Blob? You know who I am, Blob? Why the fuck would I gatekeep anything?
I don't know.
Because you're
But I do
delusional
know
and
that
think someone's an agent who's not an agent and you're having delusional thinking problems? There's nothing to gatekeep. I've been true to the truth every single moment in this community and on this server from day one. There's nothing to gatekeep.
Hey, you know that debate that I asked you about that I had with Yasuke? Remember that? That wasn't on the live stream, so I asked if you had it on your hard drive. Because there was like 1 hour cut out in between the live streams where we had a debate, like randomly. It's in our DMs.
Yeah, I clearly told you that there's times when either the server goes down or YouTube cuts the stream and that I don't get to it for an hour or two later. That happens.
Yeah, you
So
said the
were
stream cut
referring
out,
to one
right?
moment.
You said the stream shut off or something?
It looks like it because one of the videos is only like 6 hours long or something. So yeah, it looks like one of them was cut.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I watched the VOD on Twitch like a week after it happened. So the stream didn't go down.
Okay, do you understand how that works? So you don't. So there, it's going off to multiple streams, to Twitch, to YouTube, and to multiple streams. Yeah. So sometimes the YouTube will cut. Sometimes the whole server drops. It depends on which one it is.
But it went out, right? So it should be on your hard drive.
Not unless I go to Twitch and download it separately, which I don't always do because it takes extra time. I usually have to download like a 40-hour thing, and then I have to try to cut all of that down for 1 hour. So I don't always do that.
Wait, wouldn't it all be on your... Okay. You don't save all of it on your hard drive? Like before it... Okay, never mind.
You know how much footage that would be for him to save
Hey,
it? If you found it on Twitch, you could have just screen capped it yourself.
Wait, so do you have like the different VODs for... do you have like the Twitch VODs? Like all still... Or like you still have access to them?
No, they delete after 6 days unless you pay an extra subscription, and I'm already paying hundreds of dollars a month to keep this all going, so I don't pay the extra money to keep them all on Twitch.
Okay.
What is your claim here? You claim that somebody kept some random discussion with you and Yasuke. Yasuke's not even on the server anymore. He left the server months ago. So your claim is that something was kept because you think that I secretively went in there and cut out some hour of you debating Yasuke that nobody cares about?
Yeah, no, it's just like perfectly cut out. And then you said you didn't have it?
Sometimes it cuts. Sometimes the stream drops.
Well, there was 1 hour missing, and that's literally the 1 hour where we had this debate. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then you told me that the stream like shut off. You didn't have the stream. And I remembered watching it like a week after on Twitch. So I was like, well, obviously the stream didn't go down if I watched it on a live streaming platform. But I guess you meant just Rumble. It crashed.
Sometimes just Rumble crashes, sometimes just YouTube crashes, sometimes the whole server crashes that it runs on.
Okay. Is that like a common occurrence where like just Rumble will crash but Twitch keeps going?
That does happen actually frequently, yes.
That happens a lot in live streaming, bro.
All right.
Only Rumble, TikToks, everything. They just crash.
And so what happens if the YouTube goes down or if the whole server crashes and if Twitch covers it, I have to go back and download the entire Twitch thing for 1 hour, which is like a 50 gig thing, and which I don't always do to try to cut the 1 hour. So of all the live streaming here for the last 4+ years, there's probably, I don't know, 2-3% that's been lost, something like that, due to that.
It's always when I'm talking. Okay.
It's not always when you're
God.
talking.
Well, pretty common. But
Bro, most
so
of
you
the
don't have
times
it on your hard drive?
you talk nonsense. Cut it out, man. Why are you even entertaining this guy?
Yeah,
Gio?
bring up missiles.
Maybe
again.
it means you talk too much.
Yeah, just don't talk, bro. Sit down and shut
No,
up.
let's talk about missiles, SE. Wait, so
You're
don't
a
have it on your
troll,
hard
bro.
drive.
You're just a
Oh,
troll.
wait.
All
Just
right.
chill, but chill. Blah, blah. He just explained it to you, man. And then like in total bad faith at the end, you just basically reiterated the bad faith accusation as if he didn't just explain it.
What accusation?
The implied accusation that he intentionally like cut out some conversation you had because he's gatekeeping for some guy that's not even on the server. I mean, that's kind of weird.
As if that would be important to me.
Don't play his game, Witsit. That's what he wants.
Of the 40 or 50,000 plus hours recorded on here, you think I care about you and Yasuke?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be you doing it. I just think it's kind of weird that the stream seems to cut out a lot when I
What was
talk.
in this magical conversation? Okay, so the powers that be have singled this server out and then found you out of the list and been like, the world cannot hear this guy.
Why don't you record it yourself? Record it yourself. Go buy a hard drive. Spend some of your own money. You know how much money I've spent to keep this going? Thousands and thousands of dollars of my own money. Why don't you do it? Record it. Go ahead, record it yourself. Leave an account in here and record anything you want 24/7.
All right, I should have recorded it.
Do it. Because I cover about 98 to 99% of every single thing, and I work very hard to post it all for everybody for free while I pay money out of my pocket to have people like you come in here and falsely acclaim with delusional thinking that I'm some agent because I'm gatekeeping some random conversation you had. It's extremely disrespectful. I don't know why we even allow you to be here.
No, what you said.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Yeah, and this is why I'll say this point. We were just talking about this at the dinner, actually. It's like it's impossible to do anything without having some type of accusation like this coming from a few people within the community. It's like, but the only way you can escape it is to not do anything. So, Blob, you see how no one gets to call you an agent or anything because you don't do anything.
Well,
so it's like the people that don't do anything, the people that don't go to Antarctica,
stuff.
the people that don't do live streams, the people that don't pay to host them, the people that aren't constantly recording everything locally and blasting it out to different servers, the people that aren't running a Discord server, the people that aren't doing debates, the people that aren't showing their face on camera. Those are the people conveniently the people that don't take pictures because they meet with real people in real life.
Can I say something real quick?
The Masons have some. I'm almost done. The Masons have some handbook where they've basically covered everything you can humanly do with your hands. So if you do anything in a picture, then you're automatically a shill. And then the people that remain anonymous for years, they all get together. They're the super truthers that know everyone else that actually does stuff is actually, some part of some agency or something.
I know that Geo does cut out stuff that I talk about, like intentionally, because it's shit that can't be on the, like talking about the injections and stuff. So
no, I have never cut, dude. I don't even think of you. I have never cut out any one thing that you've ever said ever intentionally ever. We can talk about vaccines freely, so that's not an issue.
Didn't you say you cut
years
that
ago?
Stuff out?
No,
I thought
years
you said
ago,
you cut that stuff out.
No, for the first year or two. For the first year or two on YouTube, it was an issue, and actually Jin was talking stuff about vaccines, and the channel got a strike. So in the first year or two, I did have to be cautious about vaccine talk because we were on YouTube and I was saving the videos to YouTube. If you go to the YouTube, you'll see there's like 1,350 of the first episodes are all on YouTube. So during that period, I did have to go back and cut stuff out about vaccine talk so we didn't get taken down. But since then, I have never had to, and I've never intentionally cut anything out. The server does go down, and the YouTube stream, some it goes down sometimes, and I do miss little sections from that. I do my best to go back and patch it together, but
no, I thought you said that recently, though. I thought you said that sometimes you have to go and cut out like things on Rumble when it comes to like vaccines.
No, we can talk about anything.
When would Rumble care about vaccines?
Fucking delusional, dude.
I don't know. That's why I was surprised when he said that.
You guys engage with the point that I made.
I've never said that.
The point I made. We're gonna engage with the point that I made to you, though. Hey, Blob, you wanna address what I said?
Let me say something real quick, dude.
Can you recap the point real quick?
Blob, why did you record me, dude? Like when I shared myself, and then you posted.
I just screenshotted it to make a meme.
Well, I don't know, but
we need stuff to go into, bro.
That was weird, dude.
No, it's just funny to make fun of you with Ken Wheeler.
This sounds like bad spirits in operation. I'm finding such similarities between the people that are behaving this way. I really think it's like bad spirits in operation. You guys laugh and giggle in times that self-reflection is required.
Hey, I said I'd delete it if you wanted, Die Slow.
Well, no, I'm just it wasn't the point. I'm just like wondering like if that's something you do with everybody or like any opportunity you get.
Well,
Or
apparently
if it
I
was just
should
with me.
because all my debates get cut out.
It's just messed up, Blob. Like the only reason anyone even knows who you are is this server. Do you know how much money I've spent to keep this server going? I just did a quick estimation. It's between $15,000 to $20,000 to do this for everybody. Now I'm not trying to get like some like guilt points or whatever points. Like I'm not trying to do that. I'll do it. I'm doing it, but I'm saying I've cost it's because it's around $300 a month, $300 to $400 a month with all the fees and everything involved to keep it going. I've spent $15,000 to $20,000, do everything I can to keep all the streams up. And you're going to come in here and with, I'll just say delusional thinking that you're having. I don't need to call you delusional. You're going to come in here and claim that I'm purposely cutting things out. The only reason anyone knows who you are is from this server. If you were removed from the server, nobody would ever even know who you are or think of you ever again.
Yeah, the
So
people
you're
that
the
come on
only
here.
reason anyone even knows who you are is because I've spent $15,000 to $20,000 to keep it going, and you're going to come in here and accuse me of purposely cutting
What
things
does that
out of the
mean?
live stream.
No, it's just the way that you said it made it sound like you said. I thought you meant like your streaming stuff like shut down, so you weren't streaming to like any platforms. But then I saw it on Twitch, so I was like, oh. You're just lying.
So you were wrong. So you were wrong.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said what you said is fine.
Okay, so when you start making it, are you gonna consider when you come in trying to make accusations publicly before you do that? Are you gonna consider whether you could be wrong, or are you just gonna do it anyways?
Are you gonna change your?
I mean, yeah, I just talked to you about it, so I guess I was wrong.
The question
it's like 10,000 to 1
question,
point. Congrats.
it seems like you don't seem to understand the point that like every time you guys go out and make accusations and then they're proven wrong, you just keep on doing the same thing with the same standard of what you allow yourself to say. Like you're like, if I can just kind of come up with a theory and it doesn't really make sense to me in the moment, I'll just start making conclusions and throwing out accusations and just, until maybe someone proves them wrong. Don't you think that maybe you should make an adjustment as to the standard?
Me and Gio talked about it in DMs, and I sent him the VODs, and there was like 1 hour cut out, and he was like, "Oh, my streaming stuff shut down," and I watched it on a stream.
So now you found out. Okay, but bro, did you hear my question? Like,
it's not really attached to what I'm saying.
He doesn't need to explain himself a bit, but what he was.
I didn't ask him to explain himself. I didn't ask him to explain himself. I didn't ask him to explain himself. I'm saying, do you not see the problem with just like very quickly running around and saying accusations with big implications as to someone's character? Like that's the actual question.
It seemed like he was lying. What do you mean?
Okay, so then
why did it seem well then you're having delusional thinking. You're having a delusional
It's not
problem.
delusional.
Because there was nothing about anything I said to you in DMs. I'll read the DMs right now publicly.
Go ahead.
I spent over like a half hour helping you. You DM me out of the blue. Remember, I spent $20,000 over the last 4 years to do this for free for everybody and including you. So I spent an hour of my time that I could have been doing something else or making money elsewhere. I spent an hour of or half hour, 45 minutes, however long it was, going for you, looking back on the hard drives, looking at all of the things to see if I could help you to find that one part. And one of the streams was only like 6 hours long. The other one was 12 hours long or something to that effect. It looked like part of it was cut out. I even opened them and looked at them and I said, yes, it looks like that's a missing gap. And it's likely that the server went down or I don't have that part. And there was nothing about it that was lying at all.
No, I know. I thought you meant like your streaming software shut off, so you weren't streaming to any platforms. I didn't understand that it's different for different platforms.
So then you just didn't understand something, how streaming works.
Pretty basic, yeah. It's not like delusional thinking. I thought you were saying your streaming stuff shut off.
It's delusional to think I'm lying when you don't understand something. That's what's delusional.
No, why would I understand that? I don't run a stream.
Because that's a super basic component of streaming. You have to broadcast it to different
I'm
platforms.
not a streamer. I don't know that.
Well,
you should understand what you're talking. Yeah, then you should understand what you're talking about before you.
Yo,
think
he said he was wrong. Can you guys relax, dude? It's weird. I know you guys want to like vent your frustrations about other stuff onto him right now.
Oh yeah. Quickly let the guy go. Once
he
when
said
you
he was
guys
wrong.
obsessively say the same things even after debunked. So this is the point, bro. Like the point I'm trying to make to you, man, is that dude, maybe you should consider not being so quick to say such heavy accusations about people that have implications about their character when you aren't actually sure what you're talking about.
Well, the thing is, in my opinion, all right, it was one of the best debates that was on Earth Awakenings, and it was only like an hour long. It was cut out, and I just thought it was weird. I didn't understand he was saying it was only for, a certain site, that it was the streaming shut off. So yeah, okay, I was wrong. Is that okay with you guys?
No, it's cool
Hey,
that you're wrong. I'm just no one's engaging with the bigger point, because I guess the point I'm making here is like this is a reoccurring theme amongst a certain group of people where it's like it's
Bro,
just
you
fun
do
and
this every
games to
time,
throw around.
bro.
Certainly people like this guy that keeps interrupting, right? Where it's just all fun and games to throw around egregious, crazy accusations about people. And this is what I'm trying to
it's
say.
not crazy.
I was just sitting here talking to people in real life that many of which have just stopped doing stuff in the community because every time they do, whether they're spending money on
Oh
their
my
own, they're
god,
like,
like victim fucking hood. Jesus
yeah, yeah,
Christ.
yeah. What have you done?
What is,
Why are
dude?
you
You do
acting
the
like
same
what
shit
I'm?
every time we talk, bro.
What have
You're
you?
acting
What?
like
Yeah, but
the
dude, this
conclusion that I came to was crazy when it wasn't.
no, that is a crazy conclusion to think that Geo was lying and cut out some small portion of the live stream because you and Yasuke had some mind-blowing debate that you think
Well,
everybody in here would have agreed that it was one of the best debates, which I guarantee you it was not,
it
that's ever
was.
happened on Earth Awakenings. And somehow I went in there with what do you think? Some Illuminati buddies, and we cut
No,
out the
maybe you
one
were.
hour,
No.
an hour that anyone in the history of anything could have recorded. You
Hey,
really
look,
think
maybe
that's
you were
what's
just
going on, dude?
lazy and
That's
didn't feel like looking for it.
delusional.
Maybe you were
That's
just lazy and
delusional.
you were like, I don't have it.
Hey,
It
weren't
could
you
have been either
lazy
way.
when you saw it was on Twitch that you didn't go out of your
This
way to
is
make
this
sure
is
you
I
low
didn't.
hanging
Hey, I
fruit,
didn't think
guys.
that.
Q,
Yeah, I
Q up?
didn't think that the
All
VOD
of
was
your
gonna get
input is
deleted.
literally worthless. So please stop.
Oh, nice.
So
I
if it
think
was
the
so
VOD.
important,
I have you conceding
I have
that I
you.
was
I have
right
you.
about
I have you.
vaping.
Hey, I'm so obsessed with you. Okay.
Dude, you know
Hey,
what's funny,
dude.
Witsit? You know what's funny? If I ban these two people, we'd never hear from them again, and the server would keep thriving, and we'd move on. That'd be it. Now, I don't really operate it by banning people generally, but it's really just past the point, dude. Like, I personally put a lot of work into doing this, and Blob and QUp, dude, I don't know if you heard this, Witsit. QUp came in here. He claimed that he had some recording of me on Ether Cosmology, quote unquote, gatekeeping something some discussion that we had in there about you vaping, which is just delusionally false. I've never gatekept anything about you and vaping at all. He claims he had some recording. I've clearly told him that any recording on Discord, I've always realized could be public. So no matter what the conversation is, I mean, if it's a one-on-one call, that's a little different because then the person would have to be recording you. But if it's if in any VC or any server or anything, I always figure it could be public. So he came in here trying to pretend like I was doing some secret gatekeeping, and he's said this twice now. He's come in here trying to accuse me of this, and then I just said to him it's absolutely false. And then I said, "Where's the recording? Post it, post it." And he said, "Oh, I don't have it." He said he doesn't have it. So he's coming in here just making bland slanders as if he caught me on some recording that he can't post and doesn't have, that he somehow caught me that I, was doing some secretive gatekeeping. It's just insane. Like, I don't want to ban people. I don't want to ban people, but it's like personally affecting my life. QOP has just constantly been doing this that I mean, for my own peace of mind, I may need to move on and remove him. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, he's doing it just constantly, every day, ongoing. It's obnoxious, and just coming in, and now he's just making lies about me gatekeeping on some recording that he has no actual evidence for. It's insane. It's like Rusted Soul times 10.
No,
And
he
here's what I don't
wasn't.
get is like, why don't you ever show good faith in these moments where it's like it's cleared up? I would be so embarrassed if I was going around saying some made up slander about somebody and then found out that I was completely wrong. And in fact, that person was like is going above and beyond more than you're doing at all to try to provide something to the community. I would be like, damn, I feel terrible. Like I look stupid. But in my position here is like, it's not about you messing up or being wrong about something. That's not a big deal. It's just that you don't correct the behavior. You just keep doing it and then act like it's no big deal. So you as if you're entitled to keep doing that, and people all just have to accept it. Like Gio just has to accept. The truth about the vaping thing, ironically, is Gio's the first person that asked me straight up in the Discord publicly if I did have a vape or was vaping. He's the first person to actually ask me. And then I was like, yeah. When I was directly asked, I admitted it. I didn't want to talk about vaping until I was asked. And once I was asked, I wasn't going to lie. So I don't see how Gio is somehow gatekeeping something. Gio's the one that actually got me to say it publicly. But anyway, you get my point, bro? Like, it's like, I'm just saying, I can only speak for myself. Like, I could never do that to someone in general, even if I don't like them. I don't even do this to like anti-flat earthers. Well, because I've experienced it so much on the other side. But then, like, to find out that what you were saying was basically slander or just wasn't true, wouldn't you think, dang, I probably should re-examine how I behave, like how I decide, like how loosely I throw around accusations publicly? Does that never occur to you that maybe you should change course in how you come to what you think is acceptable to say about people? That's like the fifth time I've asked that question in a different way.
No, bro, he doesn't get it. He doesn't listen. And this is exactly what he wants, to trigger you and trigger Gio and talk about it all night long. So just stop feeding the troll.
Yeah, I mean, Gio's in a tough spot, right? Obviously, if he bans them, then they're like, "See, it's because we're the only truthers, and they have to censor us." And like, Gio's like the least censor person ever, bro. Like, I think he may like me and him, honestly, like never even try to mute people. It's like how loose Gio runs his server is insane. I want to see you go find someone else that runs a server that has this many different personalities come in it and basically not censor at all, no matter how insane someone's position is. He lets everyone talk, everyone have a place to come talk, which is why you're in here doing it. Which is why QOps somehow is still here. QOps behavior in any other server, he would obviously be gone. So QOps admitted that he intentionally tries to get muted. So it's like, do you not see my point? This is the only server I've ever experienced that's even a fraction of this, like, open to dialogue from any position, any person, and is like totally against censorship if at all possible. Why not just appreciate it? I didn't even, like Gio just broke down what all goes into hosting this place. I can't even imagine, bro. I would never do that. Do you not see the issue? This is the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to resonate with you guys because the synchronicity of this is very interesting. I was just with a bunch of people at a VIP dinner after the conference. It's a bunch of people that have made different content in the community, et cetera, et cetera. And this conversation came up where it's like, you literally can't do anything for flat Earth. You can't do anything. Because if you try to make a movie, if you try to make a documentary, if you try to start a show, if you try to make a book, if you try to host a conference, if you try to do an online summit, you try to make a song, it doesn't matter what you do. If you do anything trying to get the truth out there, it costs you money, costs you time. You have to deal with the personal ramifications, right? The financial ramifications, the employment ramifications. If you go out there trying to speak the truth, get out there, no matter what you do, you can't come up with one thing that could be done that you could do, anything you do, there's always this group of people that are going to look at it, pick it apart, and claim that it's actually just an agent and that it's the Illuminati and it's all fake. So then everyone just says, screw it, dude, I give up. I can't do anything. Do you not see how it would be detrimental to the ability to actually, for one, have any type of community, but two, actually get the word out there? Do you not see that it's like the biggest thing holding us back? We just talked about it. A group of people in person just had this conversation, and you're not engaging with it. And that's because I think you don't care. You don't care if the truth gets out there. You haven't had to experience what I'm talking about. So you're like, well, I don't care. Otherwise, you would engage in
Yeah, I don't want to
faith.
be a soldier for the truth. Fight this fucking satanic regime with my face on the internet. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but you
So
want to
then
call
why
me?
would you-
Yeah, but you want to call me a gatekeeper and a liar because I've spent $15,000 to $20,000 of my own money and thousands of my own free hours to keep this all going. Something that you could have recorded yourself, but no, you're not going to actually take any of that responsibility. So you're going to
I
then
do record stuff
publicly try to
sometimes.
call me a liar when you don't even understand how the live streaming system works.
Well, you said I've never gate kept anything, and I was like, I just thought you gate kept that one debate.
Okay, so now you admit you're wrong about that.
Yeah,
I didn't
guess,
gatekeep your debate, dude.
If
I
you
didn't
can still
gatekeep
get
your
it
debate.
somehow, I don't know.
Why
you
would I
see why that
gatekeep?
would, dude? Do you not see why that would piss him off? Like you're just saying you were wrong about something, but like take accountability for it in general, right? Like, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't have been so quick to try to throw around accusations like that. Maybe, yeah, because you're admitting, like, yeah, I'm not going to be a soldier for the truth and show my face publicly. Why? Because you know that it comes with tons of kickback and because it's a huge risk. Right. So when people are actually taking that risk, why would you be a part of the people that make it 100 times harder? that are actually coming in, sneaking in behind them, where they have to check their six because the people that are supposedly on the same page are the ones that are going to come stab them and
I thought he was
sabotage
lying
them.
to me. I thought he was lying to me. You think I'm supposed to just take that and go, he's on
No,
my
I want you
side
to engage with my
anyways?
bigger point, bro. Why would why would you
It's
align with
irrelevant to
people?
what I'm saying. It's irrelevant to
Yeah,
this
that's
situation.
convenient. That's
All right, well then, do you
convenient. It's
admit
not.
you had delusional thinking? Because I didn't lie about cutting out your 1
Well,
hour
it
that
was
you were
wrong. I
talking.
don't think it was delusional. It's not like I just imagined it. You said you didn't have it on your hard drive. I thought you had like all the VODs like on a hard drive, and I didn't realize we were
Yeah,
talking
but you
about like
still think that
different
it's you
platforms.
still think that it's Geo's obligation to go and get a recording from you, even after you just admitted you
No,
were
he
wrong.
said he
You think that
would.
he
He
has
said he
the
would.
obligation. Hang on, hang on. Yeah, but why do you think it's his obligation to have any recording for you?
I just asked him, and he said he would, and then he said he didn't have
Yeah,
it,
but
and
it's
I
not
thought
his
he was lying about
obligation
it
to do
based on the
that. He
way that he
doesn't have
worded it.
to do
So how does
shit
that
for
even
It's
you,
make
actually
sense
man.
on
not.
his
It's
face,
actually not a big
Bob?
deal.
Bob, how does that even
But
make sense on his face? If he had intentionally cut it out and hidden it and all this stuff, then why would he even agree that he'd go try to get it for you?
I don't know. Maybe to try to look like he's not hiding it.
So that's the delusional part, right? Where it's just it always the goalposts move. So no matter what someone does in good faith, no matter how honest someone is, there's always like, oh well, they're just doing that so
Okay.
that we won't suspect them.
Well, if he was lying about it, don't you think that would be a good move to go? Oh yeah, I'll go and find it, and then he goes, I don't got it.
Wait,
Well,
guys,
this is what
Blob.
I kind of
Yeah.
think he means by the delusional part, where it's like, what could you have possibly talked about for an hour that would have the system so shook,
Uh-huh.
that the 27 people that watched it live needed to be
Well,
stopped.
I mean, I'm sure you know that I have really valuable information. All right, I've helped
Guys,
out a lot of people.
guys, Blob said he's wrong. He hasn't had 5 minutes to think about being wrong. Can we let him learn from being wrong, and he's gonna probably apologize. We don't need to keep. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but like he said, he's wrong at least.
Well, I'm getting attacked. I mean, I don't think the conclusion I came to was so delusional. I think it was pretty reasonable. I mean, based
I
on
would
the
say
way it
it's
was worded and
100%
stuff.
delusional
Yeah.
because I didn't lie about anything at all. I completely, in good faith, spent extra time to go back and look and try to find that specific area in the live stream for you. You just posted the DMs that you and I had. I took screenshots of the times because at first I didn't know exactly what you were referring to and which part it was. I spent all of that time. So for you to think I was lying is in fact delusional because I in fact was not
Well,
lying.
you could say it's wrong, but based on the information that I was given, it wasn't like completely delusional to think that maybe you were lying about it.
And
It's
I
not
think
like
if
I
I would
you
just.
just
say it is.
any wisdom or discernment to look at the whole of the situation, like what the server is, what the history of it is, what all they've allowed here, how long that he's had it running, what all he's doing to run it, just the fact this place exists in general, right? Like a preponderance of evidence to then think that this singular little debate, was it tactically suppressed from the
Hmm.
masses. It is in fact kind of delusional, bro. It
It's
actually
actually
kind of is.
not.
Like,
No, it's
okay,
actually not.
all right,
Dude,
bro.
any of the ideas you had in that conversation with Yasuke, you could say right now. You could come in every
Hmm.
day for 1 hour and say the exact same things, and no one's going to cut any of that out. So you really
Yeah,
think
I
that
could.
someone
Yeah.
cut that out on purpose?
And you
Dude,
Well,
that
the
actually
is
thing
have.
is,
delusional.
Wait, you
I
actually
could.
have, Bob.
Yeah, but there's no one who actually gives me decent pushback like Yasuke would. So it's
Well,
not really
go
like a good
find him.
debate.
Go find him and set up another
I know where he's
debate.
at. I know where he's at.
Go set up another debate. There's tons of places to debate.
Ah, he's on my side now. So
The thing is, dude, you saying this, the thing is, QOP has been fabricating this false claim that he thinks he has a recording of me, quote unquote, in ether cosmology doing some secretive meeting where I was gatekeeping something about Witsit and vaping and TFE. He is completely lying. He has fabricated that. I've never gatekept anything. If I was in ether cosmology, we might have just been talking, but it would have been the same type of talking we do in here. It's no different. Anytime I've gone to ether cosmology, to me, in my experience, it just feels like similar to Earth Awakenings, but it's ether cosmology. I've only been over there a handful of times. We hang out in there. It's not anything really that different. Like, it's not being live streamed, so yeah, maybe it's a little bit more off air kind of thing. But like, it's really no different for me the few times I've been over there. So there would have been no secret anything. So QOp's been coming in here and claiming that, I think he said Clearview or something was recording it. If that is true, I don't care. I don't care if anybody recorded that. Anything that's in a public VC is public to me on Discord. I don't ever think that there's a possibility that somebody could not be recording, meaning somebody always could be recording. That's fine. That's understandable to me. So QOp's been coming in here just trying to stir up drama, trying to go after me, just like Rusted Soul goes after Witsit, just trying to come up with stuff to try to slander me, to try to get people against me, or whatever game he's playing. So he came in here and said it again. I then got a bit riled up, which is very rare that I get this activated, but I did get riled up here because he's making this accusation that I was gatekeeping something. I then was kind of loudly saying, post it, and he said, oh, I don't have it. I don't have the recording. And then I was sort of saying, then he's lying if that's what he's doing. So maybe I'll reflect on this later, that I overreacted. I got a little bit hyped up, whatever. But QOp has been doing this a lot, which is why a ban may need to happen. I don't like to ban anybody. We let everyone be here in to the extent of, I mean, people have warnings and all the behavioral stuff, but QOp is specifically doing something that's incredibly insidious. So I mean, I don't know how. The thing is that he's just disrupting the server and disrupting people's personal lives and so on. This little thing, I'm not saying it's that big of a disruption. I got a little bit, activated or whatever when he said this, because he's trying to claim something that's completely false and then doesn't have the recording and then thinks he can come in here and just make these false claims because he thinks I'm an agent, whatever delusional thinking he has, which I will tell you right now is a fucking fact that that's a delusion. I am not an agent. I have no reason to prove that I'm not, because I'm just not. There's no reason I have to even get, right now I am kind of activated, but if somebody thinks I'm an agent, they are in fact wrong and in fact having delusional thinking. I know exactly who I am. I know where I was raised. I know exactly my entire childhood. I have all the information of my entire life. I'm not an agent and I'm not an operative on any level. So if somebody's going to claim that, it is delusional thinking in fact. So the thing is, he said all of that, trying to allude that I'm some agent that had some secretive conversation gatekeeping something. I then did get a bit activated. And then right on the tail end of that, you're like, oh, Gio, you've never gatekept anything. And then you're coming with this thing, which you now admit you were wrong. So do you see how just insidious this is to any kind of healthy community?
With the Aether cause thing, he wasn't saying there's a recording. What was happening was, so we were in a VC, and Clearview was in the. He basically played like the mod VC on Aether cause for us while we were in the VC, so we were like listening in. He wasn't recording it. We were just. I'm not a mod.
I'm not a mod in there. I've never been in any mod rooms. I'm not a mod in there. So if it happened, it was in the main VC, the public VC over there. I've never been a mod.
Clearview told us it was a. Clearview told us it was a mod meeting.
Clearview's wrong. I've never even been in a mod anything there myself. I'm sure I do have firms there though. But this is the point. Like, how do you not disavow what
Clearview was wrong about that?
Yes.
Dude, I've never been a mod on Aether Cosmology, dude. I've never been a mod.
I mean, they could drag you into it without making you a mod.
I've never been in a mod VC. I've been in one VC. Actually, there used to be one that was called, they have like a member, and then they have one called Member Plus. And I always just had, or something like that, something plus. And I always just had the regular one. And then one day I noticed I had the plus one, and I did see people in a plus room. And I went in there like maybe one time. It wasn't really a mod room though. It was like Member Plus or something. I was in that one Member Plus room one time. And then out of the blue, like a week later, that plus role just disappeared from my thing. So I don't know why I had it and then didn't have it. Like there was no reason I thought it was taken away. I don't know if they still have a Member Plus room or whatever. Those are the only two VCs. I've been in 3 VCs in my whole life on that server. The main one, there was that one Member Plus that I was in that one time. And then the Morning Lobby VC, I've been in a handful of times.
All that happened was you guys were talking about like the people, because TFE was happening, and you guys were just talking about like all the drama and stuff. And QOp got brought up while we were like secretly listening in, and it was pretty funny. But Witsit was like, people like QOp are just really annoying and stuff like that. It wasn't really like a big deal. Like you guys were just being like, QOp's annoying.
Okay, then why is QOp coming in here and trying to publicly slander me and claim that I was gatekeeping and having some secretive meaning? He literally has said, he said it twice now. He said that I'm secretively, that I was in there trying to, how are we going to convince people that TFE is real, even though it's fake? That is just a lie, dude. I have never said anything related to that. So if you're saying that that's what it is, so now you're admitting QOp's lying.
Why do you
No,
keep
no,
saying
you
I
guys
have a
were.
recording? I never said I had a recording, bro.
We
I
would
just said
just
we
we
heard
just
it.
cleared that up. I just told them about that.
Oh, because I heard it. I'm recording like
But
everything,
did you
and
do
I
what
hear
he
him
just
fucking
said?
lying
Did you
continuously.
try
It's
to
like,
push the narrative that we were in some room trying to figure out how we're going to convince
No,
people
no, no.
TFT's
Here's what
legit?
happened. You guys were talking about how QOP was like really annoying, and
Which
whether
is
you
just
should
like
ban him,
pretty much
whether you should
objective.
ban him or
Yeah.
not, whether you should ban him or not, get rid of him, and
Well,
he just calls that gatekeeping. So
I mean, QOP
it's
himself, right? QOP himself would admit that he's intentionally annoying and antagonistic.
why
So
did you Bob? Why'd you downplay that? That was watered
is
down.
that okay? What else did they say? I forget.
what is
They
this?
were
What
talking
is
about
this?
how to deal with Vapegate. Like
What does this guy got on you?
Witsit was saying, quote, he said, quote, that's like, I don't remember like everything, but I remember Witsit saying, I'm gonna big brother like the whole Vapegate situation, make people understand like how to think of it because I'm their big brother and he wants to
I would
like
have never said that
mansplain to
in my life.
all
I've
these
never
boys.
said any of
You
that.
literally
I never
said that,
said any of
bro.
that. No, I
I wish I
didn't.
recorded it, but
You said you
I
did
never.
say you're gonna big bro QOP. I remember that.
Okay, but he just claimed I
No,
said I was
not
going to big bro
not QUP, but he was
everybody.
big
And
broing like everybody on like Vapegate.
not true. The
I
only thing
don't.
I've ever said is that back in the day I was trying to big bro you when people were asking me why do I even give you any time at
No,
all,
I was
and I
not.
said chill out, dude. People ask me why I give you any time at all, and I said I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to just big bro him in a way because
Hey,
back
don't
in
be gay.
the
Please don't.
day I used to have conversations. No, bro, I could not. You're like a lost cause, bro. You because you admit that you have intentional bad faith. To me, that's super lame.
I never said
Even
that.
if you think, yeah, you did. You came in here one day, were like just screaming in the middle of everyone. You're like, I don't know why I'm trying to get muted. I don't know why I'm not getting muted. You admit that you're
That's not bad
antagonistic.
faith.
Okay, bro. That literally is bad faith, right? And what I don't get about Blob is like, why don't you ever disavow the stuff the dude does?
Like what?
Like what he just did. If he's trying to imply that Geo's some agent that was gatekeeping vape
That's his
gates,
opinion. He can think that. I'm not
no, it's a
pressed if
lie.
I'm not pressed if someone thinks someone else is an agent or someone has some weird beliefs about maybe they think the earth is made up of a fucking dragon. I'm not pressed about it.
Yeah, but the point is though, like we just found out this was thoroughly misrepresented and not true at all.
Well, is it not true?
It
Geo
wasn't
said it
though.
never happened. So
Was.
now it's not true how
No,
I
it was
recounted it.
misrepresented by Geo who he was saying that there's a recording. Then there was
That's
no
what
one said there
QOP
was a
did.
recording.
QOP did say it was recorded by Clearview. That's what he had said.
I mean, okay.
You're
but
now telling me.
I did not say that. What's wrong with you? Why do you keep fucking lying?
No, yeah, it
You doing
wasn't
it on purpose?
recorded. It wasn't recorded. It was
Why
just
are we shitting on Dragon
He
Earth, dude?
he
I'm
played. He
not.
was.
I love it.
We were listening live, dude. We didn't record it, dude. If I
No,
recorded
Joe,
it,
I'm
why
pretty
would I
sure.
ask you to
Whatever, but
fucking
here's
agree or
my
not?
bigger. Why are you guys so obsessed with like gay drama?
I'm not.
This isn't drama. You
Sure.
guys are
Literally,
psyoping flat
Very
Earth,
gay
dude.
you guys
drama.
It's
are.
big, dude.
Literally, you guys are.
I'm not pressed by it. I'm
You
just
literally are
chilling.
like obsessed. Like the main thing you give your energy to is this like conspiratorial, like everyone in the thing's an agent.
Conspiracy theories.
No,
Because
it's
the
not.
normie.
You don't know what I
Yo,
give my
yeah.
energy to.
Well, I know that you're well acquainted with every one of the schizophrenic, like just made up theories that people say, including.
Schizophrenic.
What do you mean?
What a good way
What's the
to
definition of
label that.
schizophrenia, Q up? Because I mean, like, I don't know how. I didn't say that you were schizophrenic or that you have schizophrenia, but if an idea literally is just baseless, and every time the evidence shows that your previous idea was wrong, you move the goalpost and make up a new one, and you just go out to thinking that
Never done that
everything in the
once
world
with
can't
me.
be
Never.
trusted.
Never. There's
All
no.
right, all right,
What is
all
the
right.
evidence against any of my
No,
claims?
you got it, bro. You got it. Oh, we've already shown all the evidence
Oh,
against your
so you're just gonna
claims.
say things and you don't have it. Got it.
No. We directly addressed them, and then what you guys do instead of being
Yo,
like,
watch my
"Damn,
video,
I was
bro.
wrong about that."
I have evidence of you lying in my
Instead
first video
of
already.
saying, "Damn, I was wrong about that," you just move to the next made up claim. And this is kind
Everybody
of the
just
bigger
watch
point
my
I was
video, dude.
making
I have
to
him lying on my
Bob
video.
earlier.
Like it's
You
all
say this every
put together.
time. Yeah.
The
You
best
always got
way
the
to
silver bullet. You always got the damning evidence. If we ever give it time, we find out it's a complete lie. And then you just act like it didn't happen. Now you have a new one. That's my point. My
It's on
point
a
was
video, bro.
okay, yeah, cool. Blah. This is what I was saying to you and to the room in general. Like, how come at no point when you come to this conclusion, you don't step back and think there's clearly a flaw in the way that I'm approaching these things? If I'm jumping all the way to where there's no doubt that you
He's
clearly
big brothering you
thought
right now. This is the big brother.
there's no doubt that you clearly thought that like Geo was censoring you and was like just playing along like he wasn't and was secretly
He's teaching you how
hiding
to
it,
think.
right?
Yes, I
And
mean it's not a big deal. Like even if Geo was some sort of, agent creep, I wouldn't really care. I mean, like whatever. Like
alright,
if you
it's
thought Geo was an agent and I didn't, I wouldn't be upset at you for thinking that. I wouldn't be pressed that you have some different
But wait,
opinion.
Blob. If
it
you, if
isn't about
but
that. It
Blob, if
isn't
they were
about
agents,
that.
they would be
It's
upset, though, right?
no,
Maybe.
dude,
I don't know.
no. The point is though, right? Like that. If it's just a reoccurring theme, that the only thing that's
Hold
ever
on, JT, you're hot micing.
Thanks.
if it's just like a reoccurring theme, right? That the only thing that's ever really brought to the table by a certain group of people is like the new updated accusation that no one can be trusted but them, right? And there's like all these accusations thrown around, and it's always against the people that are actually doing something. And like when I pressed you
So
about that
big,
point,
bro.
you were like, "Oh, well, yeah, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be like a soldier for truth against like these
He's just
evil
pretending I'm
forces
not
and
talking.
show my face isn't." Yeah, because I have to just ignore you because you keep interrupting. You have no respect. So do you not like? I'm trying to actually make a bigger point that's obviously very important because every time if someone writes a book, someone just tried to host a conference, but he maybe didn't pick the best name, the best logo, whatever. Oh, he's a shill. I made this thing called Etheric, and I just picked like the closest thing that looked like a vortex on Canva. Oh, but it has sixes in it. Confirm shill. Like there's really nothing that anyone can do, and so people only understand that when they actually try to do something. So if you go try to start some company and then you make logos, if you go to people in person, you take pictures with like 50 people, you know what I'm saying, and you ever like throw up a peace sign, you ever just do anything in a picture, right?
Yeah, no, I
If you
know.
were in live stream, if you were on camera on live stream for like 3 hours and you're talking with your hands at all and you're conveying different messages and then someone's going to screenshot one little point. My point is it's only the people that never do anything that don't understand just how absolutely ridiculous the standard that these anonymous super truthers place on them really is. It's just the people that don't do anything. So what that amounts to is
Well,
the people that do try to do something just gets squelched out by their own side.
the thing is, I know there's people that that I'm like kind of close to that think I'm a shill, and I literally don't care at all. I'm not pressed by it at all. It's like, oh, that's kind of weird. All right.
But now imagine if you actually sacrifice things in your real life. So imagine if your actual real life was impacted or your real identity or your anything like that. Imagine it was like real for you.
Yeah,
Like it's
then it
not just
actually
a
matters. That it's not just people's
right.
opinions. People who just are suspect of you because whatever reason. Like, who cares about
So
that?
you get the point I'm making to you though that like when it's your actual real life, you're acting like, oh, people around me I don't care. Yeah, because I don't even know who you are. Of course you don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's not your real life. You don't care. Well, my point is, what happens when it is? So then, if we all took
Yeah,
your
but that's not
approach,
attached to
there
that.
would
You're
be
talking about like getting
there,
debanked. That's not the same thing as some random person on the internet calling you a shill. That's irrelevant. Getting debanked, not irrelevant.
well, it's not debate's not the only thing. You get crazy threats. You get like pictures of your kids, pictures of where you live. You get crazy threats, crazy
Yeah,
accusations.
that's insane. That's completely different from someone going, "Oh, this guy said 33 on something. He might be a Freemason." It's completely
Yeah, but
different.
that's not. Yeah,
And
again, that's
even
not
if you
all.
are, I'm not. I don't care. You can be a.
My
We can
point
still
is
hang
that's
out.
not all they do, right? What happens is some person goes and listens to them make these claims as if fact, but they're really just at best, if I give them like pure like good faith, if I assume good faith, they're just wrong about and they're just speculating, but they just present them poorly as if they know they're true. Other people listen to them and they watch the videos, and when all the context is omitted and the whatever, it can be convincing to certain people. Then those people go and affect the people in real life. So you have
Yeah,
responsibility for your actions in life. That's how life works.
yeah, I could see that being annoying, but
Okay, so I'm just saying you can't be like, why is this guy getting all upset? Why is because it's just like super lame and it's actually affecting people. So it's like obviously you can do whatever you want to, bro. But I'm telling you, you should maybe reconsider
whatever
So
standard you're adopting.
You think the people that do nothing, that call you a Freemason, are the people that are taking pictures of your house?
No, what I think, and I would never know because the like lack of integrity shown with a lot of the accusations themselves certainly wouldn't prevent me from thinking they would do something else. But what I think happens is other people that are anonymous on the internet watch that type of content, are convinced by it, and then go on some like vigilante, mission that they're gonna rid the community of that problem.
I don't
You know
think.
what I'm saying?
I
And
think I think all those people are just retards who do nothing. I think that it's a good excuse for like some sort of government agent to like fuck with you. But I don't think it's conspiracy theorists on YouTube pulling up to your house. I
well,
think
then
that's
let me
ridiculous.
ask you. Okay, well then think about that. Think about say it that is the case, which maybe that is the case. I've thought about that too. But then in the pursuit to weed out the agents, you're actually aiding the real enemy that are real and actually do gang stalking and actually follow you around in grocery stores with little headsets on. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You're actually helping that side out. So
Well, look,
like
you
that's
can't.
even worse.
This is an insane war. You can't control everything. You can't
Yeah,
control
so maybe
what's
have
going
more
on.
integrity with this type of stuff you throw
I have a
around.
ton of integrity.
Well, okay.
I'm one of the
How can
most
you say you
valuable
have
people on
integrity
here.
when you how can you say you have integrity when you didn't understand how live streaming works? I spent time
That
with
has
you to
nothing to
show
do
you
with
what
it.
I had. Yes, it does. And then you tried to call me a liar. That's not
I don't
integrity.
know how to stream to Twitch, so I don't have integrity.
No,
No, it's
because you
that
don't
knowing you
understand
didn't
how this
understand it, you shouldn't. Then you should know you probably don't aren't in a position to act like you do understand it and then make claims about it.
Look, just based on the way you said it, I just assumed you were saying like you have all these VODs on your hard drive before it goes to these different streaming platforms. I just assumed that you were saying you didn't have it, like it wasn't streamed out to anything at all. That's what I assumed you were saying. And I was like, wait a minute, I saw it on Twitch. That's it. It's not a big deal.
Right, but the fact that you didn't understand how the recording happens through Twitch, through YouTube, how it goes to the different platforms, the fact that you didn't understand how that works, and then your conclusion was, oh, Geo must be a gatekeeping Illuminati liar shill, and then you're going to come here after QOP made up something about me saying something on Ether Cosmology, which is also false, that he came here, that you're going to follow that up as if you're like his sidekick thing with like, oh, and try to claim that I was gatekeeping your 1 hour conversation with Yasuke. That's
You
not
don't
in
have to be
integrity at all.
Illuminati to gatekeep.
Okay,
But
well, first of all, you do
no,
know
that
when you tactically jump in to basically enable whatever QOP says. And then sometimes when QOP leaves, you even admit that you're kind of just doing it in jest and don't even really agree with him.
I mostly agree with him. Although I think he's a little bit